All right, cool. Welcome back again to another episode of The Stance, Britball, being brought to you by Playmakers Alley. Managed to get the boys back. A lot's happened since we were last back, so we're going to get into it. I'll let the guys say hi first and foremost, as always, and then we'll get into it. So, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Cedric. London Warriors, played for 9 years, currently undefeated this season. So, yeah, it's been a fun season so far. So really looking forward to catching up with the boys, seeing what they're feeling.
Yeah, man. T, I played for the Aztecs. We lost to the Warriors. Are you happy?
I didn't say anything.
No. Are you happy?
I didn't say anything.
No. Okay. See, I knew it would start early.
I feel like by the time I get to introduce myself, one of you has already said something that's normally triggering. But yeah.
Yeah, see, this is him.
I just said we're undefeated so far.
Anyway, yeah. Aztecs, yeah. Move on.
Junior, Coventry Phoenix, currently 3-1. Yeah, we got EKP for the second time this season, this weekend.
Yeah, coming up. And as you guys all know, Nelson, also Coventry, so we've got the same record. And yeah, we've got the return fixture back with EKP. Hopefully we can make it different this time, but we'll get into that and many more. So what we're looking to talk about today on this episode is that we're going to touch upon a little bit on the women's game. Then we're going to look into adult ball, both the North and the Prem South, as well as revisit the ones to watch and talk to the guys who's been balling, who ain't been balling, who's lived up to the name, who hasn't lived up to the name. So we're going to look into women's ball basically. So obviously another little play. I don't know
about this one.
I saw this.
Crazy.
The shake-up brings the ice to the yard. Khalees. But in reality, the reason I put that in is essentially the women's Prem is looking quite competitive. It's looking quite competitive this year. And it's unknown who's going to be the top two. Like, it's not just necessarily... Birmingham have done their job. They've gone 3-0 so far winning. But London Warriors, they haven't been undefeated this season, and Teesside and Solent have both been quite competitive. So with the women's game, it's been very interesting to see how, outside of Manchester, who has turned out to be the whooping boy of the league.
I was going to say, you nearly forgot Manchester.
They've turned out to be the whooping boy, whooping girl even of the league. So it's like, yeah, but it's been very interesting. And I managed to go down to like what I would describe as like a mini tournament day, where essentially they had both fixtures, the Warriors versus the Birmingham Lions women, obviously similar to the final of last year, and Teesside versus Southampton. It was being played down at the Birmingham University. So both sets of teams went down. So I was like, okay, cool. It's like a mini tournament day. And I was pleasantly surprised and impressed, not only by like the standard of football I saw, but also compared to like the men's game. One thing, I don't know if any of you guys have been to some of the women's game, is that you get a true sense of like friendship, like camaraderie. It's the kind of energy you have at those games compared to our games is very much like pally, like.
Because I've even seen like the London Warriors women train.
Do you mean between the two teams?
Between the teams, between the people, everything. Like at half time for one of the games, I think it was Teesside versus Southampton. Birmingham Lions, the ladies stayed to watch the next game. One of the players from Teesside just came, had a little chin wag, chilling during half time, and like, I know that might be frowned upon, particularly in the men's game, but like, it seemed like it was the norm, and it was very much a friendly and enjoyable vibe. I was like,
I think they have a very tight knit football community themselves. Like, you know, we have something, but they have like a super tight knit, because I know for sevens, then they do like the tournament days. Yeah. You know, they'll play like 3 teams up, will do like a round robin, or 4 teams will do like a round robin all on the day. So, you know, they're there for the entire time watching, and you play 2 games back to back, all that kind of stuff. So that's probably
and as a spectator, because I went to
it. I'm just imagining it on like our side, how it would play out.
It won't play out.
Cedric and T chilling in the middle of the game.
No chance. So I think that's because it's us.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's
happen though. In the middle of the game at half time.
No, but I'm saying once again, because it's us. So I am probably the most vocal person at the Aztecs, and I will just shout random things at Warriors players. And he's like super in the culture, but probably the most removed from the culture, in that like I'll shout to him whilst he's on special teams, and he knows he's not supposed to turn around, but then he'll just start laughing just in the middle of, you know what I mean? So that's why I say it was not the best examples.
Yeah.
Oh, well, to be fair, you guys are quite friendly. Like me, like I really don't want to know nobody. Like you.
This is what, but what if we were to play, Nelson, you're not doing all that.
Well, you're on defense. But no, if it's in the middle of the game and you start chatting to me, I might give you a slight nod. But outside that, I'm not trying to talk to you.
I will hound you.
Yeah, no,
You'll be hounding a wall.
But the thing is that with the women, I know that a lot of the national team is made up of the people that play in the nines. So it's a very close community anyways. So they're always going to be friendly regardless. So don't be wrong, the rivalries are still there, but at the end of the day, they all are playing for that bigger 11s team, which is doing so much for the women's game right now. 100. So they all have that bigger image in mind.
100. And when I checked out these games, one of the things, not only that, like obviously the vibe, I've highlighted that the vibe was a little bit different, but I was really quite impressed actually by like the football as well in of itself. Particularly like with the Lions when they played against the Warriors, they had they were run heavy. Like they decided not to throw the ball. It was clearly a coaching decision. It made sense, but it was like what impressed me was the variety in their run game. They ran a lot of gap scheme, a little bit of like inside zone, but they ran it very well. Even though it's just nines and you've lost the tackles, it was very clear to me that even if I was on the defense, you could read what the O-line's doing and they are flowing and they were getting some yards. Some big plays are being made at either side, as is the old adage in the UK game. Unfortunately, the Warriors' offense struggled that day. That much goes without saying. The Warriors' offense really did struggle. They tried to throw the ball a little bit. It didn't really work out. And that score was, after, I'd say probably after half time, it was relatively comfortable for the Birmingham Lions. Mm. But the second game, the Teesside game and the Solent game, because at this point, I think all the teams were like 1-1, 2-1. That game really surprised me. That game was really like, both QBs came to play that day. They were throwing the ball. They were relatively accurate in throwing the ball, like better than some of the men's games I've seen, like in terms of like how accurate they were throwing the ball. And like the score showed. And the only reason it ended up that way is I felt the Southampton QB, she had a wonderful game. I thought towards the end of the game, what ended up happening is that the pressure sort of got to her because it got to the point where it was basically you score, I score, you score, I score, you score, I score. And in the last like two sort of minutes, a couple of throws just didn't hit their marks, and then Teesside went away with it. But it was a really back and forth game, and it was an enjoyable day, that, to be honest. And I thought it was a great thing for the British women's game, and I'll recommend anyone. If they have like these mini days where they've basically got both the games, mini tournament days where they've got both the games at one event, one venue. Yeah, no, it's more than a worthwhile event. You'll enjoy yourself there.
It's good.
Talking about that, the mini days. There was meant to be another one coming up, I think, this weekend, and unfortunately, the Southampton ladies, so Solent Thrashers, they've pulled out of this fixture. The fixture was basically going to happen at Sheffield Hallam. So the Warriors are going to play Teesside. Warriors women are going to play Teesside, and then Southampton were going to play Manchester. But essentially they've pulled out, and I think partially it's just due to travel. And obviously we always have our challenge. Cost is a big thing for this sport, particularly like compare it to it's a challenge in the men's game. In the women's game, which is a far more niche and smaller thing, they've clearly felt that traveling from Southampton all the way to Sheffield for what is meant to be, I think, their home fixture. I think meant to be maybe Southampton's home fixture. It just hasn't happened. But I think it's sad because when we look back on
how would it be a home fixture?
So essentially, something that's been agreed in the women's game where they can have fixtures at neutral grounds to essentially try and minimize the challenge of traveling extremely long distances. Okay. So somewhere that's in between the two teams.
So it's not actually like a home.
No, but
it's their home fixture.
Oh, okay.
If they didn't agree on that, Teesside will be coming all the way down. Sorry, not Teesside. Manchester will be coming all the way down to Solent, which is quite far. So they've got a neutral ground to help. Because I remember in 2023, I think it was that Edinburgh had a similar issue with Warriors in the playoffs where obviously home field advantage is needed.
Oh, you're talking about the men's game?
No, but women as well. The Edinburgh women were meant to travel down to Warriors to play the women's team. But I think due to costs and stuff, it was quite a sensitive topic. And I don't think the game actually happened because it costs a lot. So both of those teams actually had to travel down to to try and travel down to play the Warriors that summer.
Yeah, which I think is sad because like I don't know if the women's have the same rules as the men's, but like if you forfeit a game, basically your season's done. You can't make playoffs, you can't do anything, and like particularly with the season having so far started off relatively competitively in terms of particularly for that second spot, you've got what 3-2, 2-1, 3-1. Like yes, someone can pull away, but you get a couple of results your way. That second spot is really up for grabs, assuming that Birmingham don't make any mistakes since they've gone 3-0. So I feel like it's a little bit sad that like this has ended up happening, but hopefully they said they're in communication with BAFA. Hopefully they can make some discussions, they can sort it, and that fixture can happen. One, for the competitiveness of the league, and two, just so the ladies get more games, because it's through games you gain experience, and that better preps you for your 11s and your international experience should you be playing that. Now, getting on to a little bit of T's experience with the women's game, the honoured one.
This was great. Shout out the Cardiff Valkyries. So they had reached out to some of the coaches in the Southwest about needing a registered coach to be able to participate in the tournament. So I was more than happy to oblige. Super welcoming environment. It's a super welcoming environment. And just to kind of back what you said, one thing that I realized on the day is they are, regardless of the level that you have, they are football players who want to be coached, and they get after it. Like when you take level aside, it's kind of like looking at the difference between like high school and the NFL, where you say a hit is a hit, regardless of the level, right? Like it's not an NFL player hitting a high schooler. When you see like I saw somebody had a sack on a QB. It was a strip sack, and I seen the pass rusher come off the edge, and QB had no clue. QB's full motion and just got folded from behind. I'm like, this is just football. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they get up, they get super hype. I thought, well, on the day, so I was helping out with the defense, just kind of helping them through, you know, problem solving, all this kind of stuff, and going through a few things. They were all great. Shout out Eve Holcomb. She was the MVP for the defensive Valkyries MVP. She's absolute baller. She had to go, so there was an injury to the QB on the team, and she had to go and play like Wildcat QB essentially, as well as being at corner. I think she led the day in tackles as well. She was really good. They've had their second tournament as well, which I think they did quite decent in. But yeah, it was a good day. Like you were saying, kind of you see some of the concepts, and you're like, yeah, this is great. So just as an example, there was, I think they played Cheshire Bears and Peterborough Royals. When they were playing the Peterborough Royals, Peterborough Royals would line up in trips to one side. They would run their number 2 and their number 3 vertical and just arrow their number 1 underneath and get the corner caught up in all sorts of traffic. And it was a nice, easy throw. They were making plays on that. So talk to the free safety so she could come down and absolutely nail that number 1 receiver anytime that she saw it. You know what I mean? So it's just, regardless of what it is, like football is football, and they play some pretty good football, man. It was an enjoyable day, like I say, and you just feel part of it. They were super receptive to like coaching and stuff like that, and yeah, no, I had a great time, man. Had a great time. Excited to hopefully get out there again for either a tournament or just working with them at a practice.
No, that's good. Like, yeah, it's good that you stepped up and willing to help them out just to help the game go forward, because it's all part of like giving. Like, you never know how someone might take an experience that you give to them. Like, it might have been one girl wasn't feeling up to it, or one lady wasn't feeling up to it, or this is their first ever experience, and because you were there, it was able to happen, and then they suddenly turn into loving the sport and become.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few rookies that was their first game as well, and it is different, obviously. Like in the same way, coaching under 19s is different to coaching men's, is different to coaching university. Coaching women has its own specific areas that you have to kind of focus on. But one of the players, she hurt her shoulder, And I would go and ask her, I was like, yo, are you good? And she kept on telling me Bruno. And I was like, what the hell is Bruno? She was like, we don't talk about Bruno. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I never heard that before. But she was basically saying, stop asking me. Like, I'm just going to play through it.
Oh, okay, wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
That's gangster. That's gangster.
you see what I'm saying? So that's what, like, we would do the same thing where, like, I'm limping and coach is like, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm going back out there. This is exactly the same thing. And there's me, like, coming in with whatever my bias is, like, yo, you okay? She's like, dude, F off. You know what I mean? Like, get off my back. I got this. Like, and she brought out that there as well. So yeah, they're football players, man. They're football players. They're trying to get after it. There's some really good athletes. There's some good football being played. Like I said, the concepts are there and they're just trying to learn. And the ones who already know, they're just trying to ball. So yeah,
that's good. And in terms of trying to ball with them only having their own structure, obviously in the women's game, is similar to the men's. Like their top level here in the UK game is the GB Women's, and the GB Women's setup is that like the GB Women's have a campaign that's happening this year. So they've got a couple of games for their European Championships. So like they'll be playing essentially. So this is the schedule that they have across this year and next year. We'll focus mainly on this year's games, but they're coming up against basically Finland and Spain. And I know some people some of the ladies in there might be a little bit disappointed in the fact that it's the same teams that they played recently, so essentially being Spain and Finland. But it's an opportunity to show what you can do against international competition. I always think that should be reveled in and enjoyed. And yeah, so they go up against Finland, which they managed to beat. It was either last year or the year before, but the last time they played them, they beat them 21-14, close game, very close game. And Finland beat Germany in that first European game. I think they won 21-7. They won relatively convincingly, the Finnish ladies. So like, and then they've got Spain again, and Spain beat them, as you can see, 21-16. And that was an interesting game. I don't know if any of you might managed to catch that game, but I remember watching that game. Like the GB offense was doing relatively well, I think, in the first half. Then they started struggling, and then essentially Spain started, because Spain had a passing attack. Like they were able to consistently make passes. And they were basically killing them on the intermediate stuff. Like they were getting stuff basically in between the safeties and the linebackers, and they were hitting it relatively consistently. And they ended up winning that game. But I had an opportunity to go and basically join the coaching setup for basically just as an apprentice or as a help to join the ladies setup as they prep for this game. And it was really good. I thought it was very professional, well set up day. One thing that I really took away from the day is that the ladies who are in GB, and I think it is very commendable to them all, is that they're very inquisitive. Like they ask, why is this happening? Why are we doing this? And they ask it from the viewpoint to understand for them personally so that they can execute. But and I know sometimes like coaches always say, oh yeah, ask questions. Like I want you to ask questions. But then there are times where they get frustrated if you start asking their questions like we need to move on, we need to do stuff. And I thought that the GB ladies coaches did a good job of trying to balance the fact that these girls are extremely inquisitive while we're trying to progress stuff and make things happen. And I can understand why they're very inquisitive. No word of a lie, that GB playbook is quite complex. Like I was looking at it, I was like, this thing is quite complex. Or I personally felt it was quite complex. But even with that being my own personal viewpoint on the playbook, what I thought was impressive is their ability to execute it at the level they were executing it at, considering how close they were to a game. Yeah. So like, yeah, okay, cool. Objectively, not objectively, but subjectively, I thought the playbook was complex. But what was evident is that these girls are understanding the playbook, they're executing the playbook. So if you're able to execute, then you've got a good playbook. So then I thought that was impressive, but it was really enjoyable, like going to that GB practice and seeing how the ladies practice, because obviously being in the men's, that's something different. But checking the ladies, yeah, Yeah,
man, excited for their fixtures this year.
Yeah, man, yeah, Finland and Spain. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
Oh, and then just a little to give people their flowers. A little few people their flowers. Similar to how us in the men's game, a lot of the players, they look to go to Europe, and we've spoken about that. For the ladies' game, it's looking like it looks to go to like the States. And currently in the GB roster, there are 5 ladies who have headed out to the States playing professionally in one of 2 leagues: Women's Football Alliance League and Women's Football National Conference League. They've been split essentially into 2 groups. 3 of them are playing for one team, the DC Divas. Yeah, DC Divas, yeah. And the other 2 are playing for San Diego Rebels. So yeah, Anna Akinyosoye, Yasmin Kazoo, Jackie Duncan, Kemi Crosby, and Ruby Watson. And yeah, they looks like they're being shining pillars for the ladies out here to how far you can go and what you can achieve. Particularly, like, shout out to all of them. But whilst doing a little bit of research on this, I find it very impressive that, like, yeah, Ruby Watson, 2025 this year, first team All Pro for her league, like one of the top 100 players in her league, and that's
awesome.
No joke.
No positions players.
She plays O-line.
Yeah.
All of them play O-line.
Yeah, all of them are offensive players. Because I think Anna is a tight.
Do you know who's who? Because I know Jackie works.
So Jackie, Yaz, Anna, and then Ruth, and then Kemi. Ruth is 62.
Oh, okay.
Ruby's 60, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Ruby. Because what I was going to say is that Ruth played before in America. If you remember, she's the small running back. Ruth Matter. She played in America before, so it's good to see that more British women are going out there to play. Yeah. So and I've been kind of following it as well because I follow Yaz and Jackie, and they're having a great time. Like it's really good to see how far you can take this, and it's an inspiration to other women as well. Because even when we're talking about the GB setup, it's crazy to think that is some people's first taste of 11s for women, because we play 7 and 9s.
Yeah.
And 9s is the highest for women for like local teams. And then they have to go straight to 11s. So it's kind of crazy to think that. And then you can aim even higher to go to America. And I even think that the WFA are expanding to Canada as well. So they're coming really big. And you see 3 British women doing it big out there. It shows you what can be done.
Yeah, doing it very big. Like, but both sets of these groups are looking to one, competitive, and 2, looking to go to playoffs. Like DC Divas look like they're going to make it to the playoffs, into their playoffs, and the San Diego Rebellion, they're in their conference final. Like their conference final is happening in the next 2 days, maybe even tomorrow, from when this is being filmed. So like, yeah, they're out there, they're balling. It's not that they're just out there representing; they're out there balling, being pivotal parts of the teams that are pushing these teams to achieve bigger things. So yeah, no, shout out to the ladies and the game in which they're doing. It being competitive here at home within the UK, them doing bits for when it comes to GB, preparing for their games, but also they're ranked, I believe, 2nd in the world and 2nd in Europe. Although that sounds like a little bit of a juxtaposition, but that is the case. They're ranked 2nd in the world and 2nd in Europe. And then you've got the ladies out here showing how far you can go out in America, balling and doing your bits. So. All right, so that was our little segment of the ladies, and now we're getting into adult ball and what's been going on since. This is going to be interesting. There's been wins, there's been losses. There's been some might argue crash outs.
I don't know about losses, mate. I don't know about losses, mate.
All right. Okay.
So here we have. Let's first and foremost talk about it. It's been a little bit of time. The Aztecs European campaign. So T, like, before I go about it, like, what's your view on
Firstly, let's just give them the credit, because obviously your scorelines may not necessarily look great at the end, but it was still a great campaign, a great show for British.
One of them was really good. So obviously we had 6 games back to back. Well, yeah, just starting off
weeks.
Yeah, they had 6, bro, from the start.
We had 6 weeks, 6 games. And the last 3 of those was playing the Dutch champions, the Swedish champions, and then the British champions. We did well against Amsterdam. We didn't do well against Sweden. I'm not, you guys know me. We lost. We got absolutely bombed, bro. Like it happens. It's not a good showing. Just in general, like it's just not a good look. Like we were 21-0 down at the half, and I don't know. I just don't feel it didn't feel like that was what we went out there to do. Obviously, that's not. But you kind of feel like, oh yeah, you can do a bit better. Karlstad Crusaders, obviously a major team for a very long time. Clinical. They're a professional outfit, and it shows. Just not a good look. Obviously, like I said, the first game, I think, probably put us on a high of what we could do, because we had a friendly against Amsterdam last year, and it was like 28-0 to Amsterdam. They obviously come over here, and I mean, we had our backups in the game when they scored.
Okay, yeah.
Right, so we were running away with that game.
And as what the hell? Well, my mind's gone. But like's already been said. I agree that we have to give the Aztecs their flowers. Like, first and foremost, you got into Europe, you represented Britain, and you
got into Europe is strong, because obviously I named all the teams who have played in Europe since I've been playing, and the one thing that they all have in common is that they're all the champions.
Yeah, but
we did it without
because you won a game.
because the champions, didn't want to play in Europe this year, so we said, hey, we'll do it. We won a game.
I understand it's always been the case that like top two have always had the right to be invited to go and play in Europe.
I thought it was only the champions.
That was
top two.
That was my understanding. It's always been top two. So it's just that you guys decided to take up the offer. So which I still feel that it's commendable. And like I said,
you guys are not. You don't want to.
Not interested, man.
No.
You guys don't like bleeding, innit?
Don't like bleeding? We lost 2 finals. What do you mean? Like,
You like it too.
yeah, of course we don't like it, but the
like
thing is that like it's not necessarily about bleeding. It's like I said, going into Europe, it has financial implications as well. That's the thing. It's about the players having to put the finances up or finding sponsors, like more sponsors, all of that stuff. So that's kind of what it is. Because I know that
we'll start putting money in, like a kitty at the end of the season, instead of champion who go to Europe.
Well, Baffa should, or the team?
Let's win something, innit?
Baffa?
Yeah, no.
He's saying the community. The community should go.
But then why would a team in Scotland want to help fund the Warriors? Or why would
I think if you
want to fund Bristol?
I understand why you would do that. Yeah, in the grand scheme, you want to promote the British game. Like if.
Yeah, but what's the benefit for the Scottish team? It grows the game, but what's the benefit?
If you lot are gonna win every year, you don't get nothing on that, and then you don't want to go Europe as well.
You said we don't. It's not that we don't.
Sorry. And you can't because of things like that. I would try and put something in there where we can ensure there's going to be the champion.
I think British representation is important in the competition.
Us.
That's why that's the only thing. So yeah, you're right. Maybe selfishly someone goes, oh well, it's not my team.
Yeah,
and that's part of what holds the sport back in this country is everyone is in their own little silos, and it is very selfish. It's not a bad idea, Juno, to be.
I think it holds the men's sport because, like we discussed with the women's sport, they are a community.
Oh yeah, no, it's fair enough.
Quite a bit. Yeah. Even the divide between flag and contact as well. But that's another thing for another day.
Just put like an extra tenner. You know the increase in registration charges on a regular basis. Anyway, just put another tenner in there when it gets sore.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I think there's probably out before sending out teams into Europe. There's probably other things that
100
can and will be fixed,
true.
but or should be fixed, such as every team filming to a good standard, every team sharing film, all of that kind of stuff. So
I hear that.
But
and with this, because obviously it's like I've added their opera mask sort of thing, but like because obviously you had one very dominant performance and you had one where you just got absolutely worked. But it's like, how did you guys feel when you went out there? Because I remember back when we were in Europe a long time ago now, like. Having won the league, we went out there with an extreme confidence, and it was like we were out there, and it's almost like we were shell shocked once we got into the game, and the game started going against us.
It's different, man. Like it's so I've played in Europe before when I played for the Blitz, so I had that experience and played against SBB Vukovi, played against also Strivas in Spain. Argonauts from France, Flash from France. Like, so I've in my mind, like I know what it's like, but not everyone's had that experience. A lot of people, this is their first time. You had a few guys like Greener played out, Spencer played out in Finland. I think Finland. Yeah, Finland. Like they've played out in Europe before, so they've seen these kind of teams. But not everybody. It's not the same for everybody. But like I said, it's just it's not necessarily the standard of like Swedish football, but it's the fact that the league itself is way further along than British league. And that isn't to say that like if the Warriors were playing that game, that that would have been the score. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's just it's a different level. It's a different ball game. And from like I say, you look at that and I say British BAFA, like BAFA or the British American Football League is better than the Dutch American Football League. That's what I saw from that. But it is not where the Swedish American Football League is. But in Sweden, they only have like 3 teams maybe who are like doing the business. You know what I mean? Same thing in Switzerland. Calendar Broncos absolutely wiped the floor with everybody, but not the whole of the Swiss League. They have one really good team. So yeah, it's just people aren't ready for that. It happens all the time, man. First time I came to Bristol and we played the Warriors, I knew what it was like to play the Warriors, and I was standing with some guys who they had continuously been whooped by the Warriors. So they didn't really know, like they didn't have the same belief level. I looked at the playing the Warriors every single time as, oh dude, it's a bunch of people like me. It's just standard, like
they're human beings. They bleed too. That's
not even that, bro. It's like these are people from where I'm from. Do you see what I'm saying? Like these are. So I played with DJ for years. What is the difference between me playing against DJ if he's playing O-line and me playing any of the Warriors O-line? That's how I viewed it. But not everybody has had that kind of level. So yeah. Unfortunate way to end it, but it was fun while it lasted.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, like there's no shame in it. Yeah, you guys got beaten quite badly in the second game, but you went out to Europe. You got 1 win, which is more than some that have gone out there, and that win was an impressive one. So like, yeah, hold your head up high. See what you can do this year. Maybe you'll be out there again next year.
Yeah, maybe you get a different opponent. Don't have to play on a hybrid field.
Yeah, because that field is treacherous.
I've heard loads about this field at this point.
Yeah, no, like because
I
can say
right. I know one play, run play. Bauer gets the ball, just slips straight away, straight into the ground.
That field, nothing can prepare, and that's a home field advantage because nothing can prepare you for that field. Because when we played Sweden, slippery is like the worst surface I've played on, and it rained as well, so it made it even worse. So again, that could add to what happened, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
But yeah, so that's the end of the European campaign for the British teams. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what your perspective is. And then, so like now, let's look into the Prem South. Currently, you've got up what the current table is looking like.
This is off, obviously.
What do you mean off?
Why is it off?
It's just off by virtue of the fact that we played one less game. We're definitely going to win our game tomorrow, and the head-to-head between us and the London Blitz is us.
All I know, this is the league standing currently.
You playing tomorrow?
Cambridgeshire Cats.
Easy win, easy dub.
I know, this is the league standing.
It was a more competitive team. See what happens in the next episode.
Maybe if you look at this at the point of coming out or tomorrow, yeah, you guys will be in second. But the table currently, that's where Blitz are. Blitz are second.
But where's their loss?
Oh yeah, fair.
That's all I'm saying. I like the London Blitz, but I've played for them for 4 years. Don't get it twisted.
No, fair.
Where's the Warriors lost?
Business as usual for the Warriors, as we established at the beginning, and once again now. Cool. So let's get into the Premier games that happened a few weeks back now. Warriors v Bristol. And looking at how the scores broke down throughout the game, it was a tight game up until that fourth quarter. But how was we got 2 people who are live and direct that were in the flesh experiencing the game? Like,
I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there?
I wasn't there.
Is that why the score was the way it was?
No.
I was there, and that's why the score.
Okay.
Let's not. Look. Oh my God, it's frustrating because I'm gonna say both teams weren't at their best, and sometimes, in my experience, right, you got to get a bit lucky. This would have been the day to get lucky and kind of steal a win, considering what the scores had been the last 2 times that we had played, right? It would have been the opportunity to kind of steal a win. Because the last time we're at their place was also an opportunity to steal a win, right? Close game, I think it was like 19-15 or something
17-14. 17-14.
Right? Do you know what I mean? So you kind of got to get a bit lucky, and you go through the first quarter. I don't think first and second quarter, none of the offenses are really doing what they're supposed to do. Both defenses are doing what they're supposed to do. The third quarter, I think from an Aztecs point of view, you're like, all right, it's rolling now, and then it just stopped. The well just dried up, man, and yeah, it's difficult because, like I said, I wasn't there. I watched the film, and you're just like, there's a few things. So we had, in terms of giving the Warriors offense opportunities or giving them back opportunities, there was roughing the kicker.
Oh, okay.
That didn't help. Roughing the passer on like a long third down. That don't help. Like there was a few. I think we had
frustrates me so much.
3 that where you get and at least one of those calls was real soft, but the referees in London,
they're going to be the referees. Referees in London.
The referees in London are garbage.
That's what you're saying.
Okay.
When we come to Bristol,
Sorry, wait. So where are the referees good? Because I'm hearing like you got London referees, you got Scottish referees.
In my eyes, the referees are fine. Like,
No. Like,
okay.
Like I hear it, and I don't even really like to complain. I'm not saying that's why we lost the game.
Okay.
No. I'm not saying that's why we lost the game, because at the end of the day, there's 2 quarters where we didn't score. Do you know what I mean? We scored 1 touchdown
and 2 quarters where you conceded also.
That's what. So I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't know that I really like the London refs very much. It's a strong take. Someone might. I'm me personally. I'm not a fan. I'm not saying that the ones in Bristol are amazing, although I do like some of the ones in Bristol.
I don't like none of them.
But yeah, nah.
Did I show you the holding?
Sorry, my throat.
I'm being honest here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm out here saying, "Oh, the rest of the reason." No. We put ourselves in position to do better than we did. You get some flags that gives the offense more opportunities, and then the offensive well dried up.
How do you guys feel when you guys get like roughing the passer flags? Because like, unless it's a tight one and like the referee's gone on madness, I get really annoyed when I see players rough the passer, particularly on like third and long situations. Because I'm looking at
it's when it's a stupid one.
Do
you know what I mean? The ball's gone, and then you just go in and you end up what are you doing?
Funny you say that, because the game last year at home, I'll never ever forget this. So we got a game-sealing pick. I know you remember when Kenichi, shout out Kuzo, for those who don't know him by Kenichi, he got a pick to seal the game at the end. But then everyone's celebrating, and I just see a flag on the field. I said, Lord Jesus, what is this? Like, let it be holding. It was roughing the passer. One of our defensive ends hit Benzie like after he released the ball. So instead of it being a pick and us just kneeling it out, that's when we then had to fresh set of downs, and you guys were moving the ball.
Yeah. But it ended in a pick because we kept throwing the same play, and your safety just
that was 2023.
No,
so I'm talking about 2024.
2024, the first game.
Yeah,
that first game at your place. Yeah, I remember.
Damn, so all these games ending in picks.
We were shouting on defense.
These guys ain't learning.
The safety knows where the ball's.
Yeah, no, and then obviously we came up and we cleaned up the game, because obviously I remember the ball, back down the ball, strip sack, and you guys tried to go for the field goal. But this game, I would say, was very, very fun because
we wouldn't know. That's a grab I got.
You often start your game slow.
All the time. That's the thing that is known about the Warriors. Like, we're second half team, which I hate that saying.
Don't do that. You are a second half team, man. Are you not?
But that's what I said. That's what people say.
No, because you did that.
No. But then like, it's people make it sound like, oh, it's okay if we start slow because we're a second half team. It's not, because it's going.
That's for you, like
you never.
No, because you never know.
No, I hear it. Yeah.
Because you never know. Because, for example, Bristol, I'll be honest, they were moving the ball.
When you lot run into a team that's first half and second half, you lot will find out what's up.
Yeah, but that's why I'm exactly saying that it's not okay to say. But I'll say this was a very fun game to play. I felt this game afterwards. Like I said, I broke my finger. Like it was crazy. Yeah, bro. Like I finished that game. I remember shaking my hand, being like, "Oh, something feels weird." I just have to tape up and get back on. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Yeah.
Shout out Bruno.
Yeah, shout out Bruno. Actually, don't shout out Bruno. But yeah, such a fun game.
Which is sad because you're saying it's a fun game, but we wouldn't know because although this was game of the week, it wasn't streamed. It wasn't streamed.
Yeah, no, but that
was game of the week. It wasn't streamed.
Yeah, but
one thing.
So you can't actually stream at the university because of the university ground.
Go and find a different ground. Go.
Do you wanna pay for that?
No, but I'm saying like just go.
It's game of the week.
Go and play somewhere that you can that people can.
No, but I'm pretty
I'm
sure that you can't actually record at University of Greenwich.
Then go and play somewhere you can record it.
I'm pretty sure you can't.
It's the most nonsense excuse.
Okay. No. As an excuse,
that's the fact
you don't want to play somewhere where
it might not be an excuse. He's saying that it's fact. We have to take him for his word.
Newcastle Vikings sitting very, very comfy at the bottom of the table right now.
Damn.
We'll get onto that. Don't worry.
No, they're not. Sorry.
We'll get onto that.
Anyway, one thing I'll give them credit for is that they record both their home and away games.
Yeah, because I saw that they recorded the game that you guys played against them. But yeah, sorry. One thing I'll give to Aztecs, some of these guys are tough. Like that QB, I'm just talking from my own personal.
Ethan Gretzinger.
Ethan, he took some hits from me and he got up and smiled. I remember there was one sack where I hit him, everyone felt it. He just got up and said, "This is football." I said, "What is it gonna take?" And then the worst part about it, straight after, 3rd and long, convert first down. I said, "What is it gonna take?"
No, he's legit.
He's legit. Pick him up.
Like Ethan can play.
Yeah.
Ethan can really play.
And I feel like that game in Karlstad shouldn't really be a representation of.
Did he play out in Karlstad?
Yeah, but obviously it was a rough day for the offense. But like, if you watch him, he was definitely playing the game really well.
Nah, Ethan can play. I mean, it's on film. Regardless of who we play, like Ethan is going to make plays. There's just it hasn't always resulted in a score, which is the frustrating part.
Yeah,
but Ethan can play. There's no question.
And the ones to watch from this game, obviously we'll get into it. They definitely showed out when it mattered. So
So Reiss showed out and the QB showed out.
100%.
100%. Sorry.
We'll talk about that, but that's.
No, it was Ethan. It was Ethan Gretzinger.
Right.
And then Reiss, when it mattered, like to get us mindset into the game, because at that point he kicked us into the lead. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he kicked us into the lead.
That's not possible.
Okay, he kicked us into the game. Sorry, I think that's what it was. Not kicked us into. He kicked us into the game.
I'm talking about numerically. It's not possible.
Yeah, no, because it was 7.
Yeah, no, and then he kicked us into the game. They were like, okay, cool, we have a game on our hands.
Yeah,
and
all right, fair enough.
That's not too.
If you want to give him his flowers, give him his
into the game.
flowers.
Like, that's just.
No, but it changes the mindset. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
All right, well, that was a wonderful game. Talking on to one of the dark horses in the league, one of the people that we were talking about, best of the rest, discarded. Is it time, to accept that the Blitz are contenders in the South? This is the record that they've had.
I'll be completely honest with you. Yeah.
No.
I love that these guys are making a little comeback. I love to see this because it's not. I don't think it's in dead faith. I think they have something to.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
They should be seeing.
Is this camera on me?
The answer is yes. 100%. Look,
Hertfordshire, Cambridge.
I hear it.
Rushmoor, don't get me wrong. Rushmoor, cool.
I hear it.
Aztecs.
I hear it.
When did you score the first touchdown in that game?
In the 3rd quarter.
Oh, okay.
So they were winning for most of the game.
Yeah.
They went in 7-0
at Finsbury Park. That's
look.
I ain't gonna lie.
We're just talking about Karlstad. We can't just go. The ground is the reason.
No.
I said you can.
Nelly. Was it the last episode we were asking about where you played the best?
Yeah.
That's number 1. Number 2, if I have to play if I play on concrete every week, and someone's got to play on concrete for the first time, of course it's going to be completely different. Playing at Finsbury Park.
Okay, just being honest. Forget the ground is not a reason why anything was anything. just I'm not saying that the ground is good. The ground is. I mean, I had to put on my turf shoes to play there because
Playing Astroturf.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
Like NFL in 2000 when the man were wearing sneakers and Jordan 11s to play.
I have to put on my turf shoes because you're
11s.
just on the surface. Like there's no way your cleats are digging in. They're not gripping nothing. But in terms of our blitz, yeah, they are. Like it was a good game in which you go through. If you were to go through the quarters again, we charge down the field, first drive, don't get anything from it. We miss a field goal.
Burn.
And I blame the field. I wasn't even there, but I blame the field.
Miss a field goal. I can't remember if they scored in the first or the second quarter. But even before the game,
who scored?
Receiver. I think number 89.
And when they scored, did they act like they'd been there before, or was it like
No,
madness?
but the team is full of youngsters. They're full of like young boys, like uni boys, all this kind of stuff. They're full of youngsters. So and their coaches, credit to them, have like gassed them up to like really believe that they've got something going. And I don't mind it. Like I said, I got a lot of time for the Blitz. I played for the Blitz for 4 years, and I agree with Junior. I feel like based on what the Blitz have done, British American football is better when they are also doing well. That doesn't mean that it only has to be 2 in the South. But like if the South is a 3-horse race, then it's better than if it's a 2-horse race, right?
And I'd prefer it was going to be the Blitz than any of these other random.
Yeah, so they got a bunch of young guys who are like raring to go, and their coaches got them ready. All that happened was you've got a bunch of older players on the Aztecs where at some point they were, the offense was like, that's enough now. We spent a bit too long not getting on the score sheet. They scored and immediately got their confidence back. Do you know what I mean? And shout out to Emmanuel Bauer, because he
Big boss.
on his ones, right? And I say on his ones, I always mean with the O-line, because O-line is solid. But him, you know what I mean? Like nah, I'm the best running back here today, because number 26 for the Blitz. Good young running back. I don't know his name. Really, really good young one. That boy ran away from people, ran through people.
He's on the GB.
Yeah, there you go. We talked about this. Ran through people, juke people, jump cut. Like he's and he stand up and he's laughing. I'm used to seeing all that. I played against Andy. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm used to seeing someone stand up but when you're young and doing that, your confidence is just growing. And then they got an offensive lineman, their right guard. So they got a good, young offensive line. Their guards I think are their best, and their center, the center that they brought in second, he was pretty good. But Jaden, I want to say Prempe is his name. That young boy is solid. He's been playing the sport for a very, very short amount of time. I think he plays for Sussex at uni. The young boy is solid.
And he's O-line.
O-line. He plays GB under 19 right now. The kid is solid. Like, yeah, I'll give it to him. Do you know what I mean? I'm all about giving people their flowers. But as a young team, it's I don't know if you guys follow basketball, but like you think about OKC for the past couple years before this year, dude, it's just youth. Like that's their inexperience shows, and that's what happened here. Their experience shows. There's a chance that they keep this group together in the next couple of years, and you always struggle with things like guys going out to Europe. But there's a chance they keep this group together, they keep growing together, that they really are onto something in the next couple of years.
There's a chance they're onto something this year. If they turn around the return fixture, it's very possible they'll be in the playoffs, and no one gave them anything.
If they get a result from any of you guys, then it kind of makes things a bit sticky.
Yeah, and
100%.
I feel like
That's a big if, though.
we put them in a position where like we got them in 2 weeks, or in 2 Saturdays rather, and they're definitely gonna come back with like, well, we held this team to 0 points through a certain amount of time. We were able to score. Like, now, 7 points. They weren't really able to score on us. I think our defense did what it was supposed to do. But there's a couple of those where goal line, we had 2 goal line tackles where we popped the ball out. There's a couple of drops in there. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a perfect showing.
It wasn't one of these games where 27 suggests that, we were actually
No, it wasn't a perfect showing, but it was also a day where our offense was kind of finding their confidence again. And I think where they are right now, that first drive happens again. Oh, they're punching that in easy.
Was this your first game after the the European battle.
So it went Warriors, Karlstad, Blitz.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was Cambridge,
He
Rushmoor,
played Amsterdam before Warriors.
Amsterdam, Warriors, Karlstad, Blitz.
Yeah. So it's like I said, there's the team-wide confidence of like a Canaan in Europe, but just lost 2 games on the trot, and that hadn't happened in a good few years, where you lose 2 games on the trot. And it's difficult. That hasn't happened to everybody. Not everyone's experienced it, and you then go and this team, young, energetic team, like trying to just jump on you ASAP. And then they get a score, and it's not that people's heads were going down, but you still got to find your foot and you got to find your way back to it. And then eventually, we did.
Well, I feel for like the most part, bar maybe Cedric, like we're in agreement that these guys are contenders. Like, and I think that they've done the job that they're meant to do. Like, if you mollywop the people that you're meant to beat handedly, and then in a game where people don't expect you to do much, you're actually quite competitive. Arguably, your contenders. The size suggests.
You know what it is? Is that
you don't want to give.
I will take nothing away from them. They surprised me because obviously when we were here last time, I was saying that
they're the rest. That they're the rest.
But
they're not better than the rest.
I think that when Bristol and when Warriors, we actually lock in, they can't compare to us.
I'll give them that.
Because, like you said, it came off. Firstly, they've had 6 games on the trot. Even me recovering after 1 game, because I was saying when I was watching the Karlstad game, I was saying it to my friend. I was like, I don't know how these men are playing a week after playing against us, because I was in no condition to play. Mm-hmm. So if I had to then fly out to Norway, Sweden to play a game, crazy, and then after that go and play again against Blitz at Finsbury, by the way, which is tough. Mm-hmm. Your body's feeling it. Now that they've had this rest, and now that Bristol are going to lock in, I don't think that this next game is going to be close.
How many weeks off did you have?
We've had
like 3 weeks?
2 weekends off.
Did we have 3?
I don't remember.
We've had
well,
3.
Possibly because of the fact that we've got 1 less team.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've had 3 weeks off. And then obviously you guys are going to play Cambridge, which, call a spade, is a win.
And it's 2 back-to-back home games as well.
Okay. Like,
it's 2 back-to-back home games as well.
Yeah, maybe
if they prove me wrong, I'd love to. But
I think we're in agreement. I think they are contenders.
I think they've proven it. Like, yeah.
For
against Hertfordshire, Cambridge.
No, because you're saying.
I'm not gonna lie. I hear what Cedric's saying. Like Cedric's saying.
No, but you do what you're supposed to do.
No. I hear what you're saying, because it's like, okay, you've dealt with the small teams the way you should deal with the small teams.
Yeah,
but you're not up there yet.
Well, no, I mean, look, you get to quarter 3, the score is 8-7.
You're in the game. I don't.
If you told me they scored more than once by quarter 3, then I'd understand.
Yeah, but when I'm telling you, like, you've got Cheetah, one of our safeties, like flinging his body at the running back, and the ball gets knocked out. Rickett makes on the goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, if the kid holds the ball, it's a touchdown.
When they
didn't, and it wasn't.
No,
they scored.
No, I hear that.
When they scored, was it a defensive mistake?
No,
I think the semantics isn't relevant.
Look, I hear it.
Sorry.
Like, when you look at the Manchester game, they scored because we made 1 mistake on 1 play.
But we won.
I want to give them credit, right? I think Bristol is a better team than the Blitz, for sure. Let me just say that.
No, I don't think that's.
But I want to give them credit for what that game was,
and
what they've done against who they're supposed to do it against. I think Bristol's a better team. I think we've got the better quarterback. I think we've got the better O-line. I think we have the better defense. It's just a bunch of young players who are up for it, with coaches who know how to get them hyped to do something. I think this season for them is just, let's just see if we can do something.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do. So,
and I think you got to prove it on any given Sunday, because like one of the points Cedric made is that, like, if we're playing our best, if Warriors playing their best or Bristol playing their best, these guys probably can't hang with us. And I probably agree with that. I agree with that. But it's what you do on the day. And so far on the day, these boys have shown that they can hang. And that's just a matter of fact. And from your own admittance in some of the games you guys have played, you guys have basically said that there hasn't been a game where you thought you've been firing at all cylinders. Even in the Bristol versus Warriors game, you both said you didn't feel
even us, we haven't had a game where we're firing off all cylinders. So it's 720 isn't hanging. And plus, that was the same weekend as Copenhagen Bowl, where you were missing some of your star players as well.
You play who you play, man.
I said this in the chat, if the Blitz don't take a W from any of those teams, all this fun this season is just going to be fun. Like, it's not going to mean anything.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree. If we get to playoffs, they haven't entered playoffs, and they have four L's two from the Warriors, 2 from the Blitz.
Bristol.
Two from Bristol. Right. I don't think that they look at the season as a terrible season, considering that I'm pretty sure, was it last year they lost to Solent?
Oh yeah, last year they were poor.
Okay,
do you see what I'm saying? So like,
the year before that was the year before that.
Do you know what I mean? Considering that they've had like proper down years
before this,
then say, okay, we are now out of 6, where we weren't sure if we were 5 or 4. Now we're definitely 3, and we think that we might be better than 2.
Before the season started, did you think that they would be any lower than 3rd place?
I thought it was possible. I personally thought it was possible.
Look, is
in the season after their.
I thought this season that I don't think it was guaranteed London Blitz would play like this.
I would say 3rd. I'm kind of would have said 3rd because of the injection of new coaches, new players.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
But if they ended 4th, maybe not 5th, but if they ended 4th, would you have been shocked?
I would have been shocked. Bad. I would have been shocked. Bad.
I would have been shocked.
Because who finishes above them?
Who finishes above them?
And this is what I'm kind of getting at.
It could have been Hearts. They lost to Hearts last year.
It could have been Cambridge.
It's not
like if Cambridge weren't as bad. Cambridge are woeful this year. Like
Cambridge have lost their main guys. Like if they had,
I didn't know that.
The main draggers at their team here. Like I know they've lost. Russ Paulson's left.
Yeah, I know they've lost people. Yeah.
Johnny J5, the linebacker who used to play with basically 2 of them in the middle, and then MJ has left as well. Their key guys, their outstanding guys, have all left.
Yeah.
And the Americans.
The Americans that they had from the Navy.
Yeah, I just know there's a military base. I don't know what specific.
Yeah, what's his name? Is it Clayton? That destroyed my man's shoulder.
Okay, let's not do that. But yeah, I know you're talking about. He was like a linebacker / running back. Well, yeah. Anyways.
Well, okay, cool. Well, most of us believe that the London Blitz are contenders. And now onto the other part of the table, the Rushmoor Knights. Are they better than expected? I feel like, for me personally, they've definitely done better than I personally expected. Like they came up, I thought they were going to be a write-off like most teams that come up and do nothing and then go straight back down. But they've shown that they deserve to be in the Prem, based on the Prem standard that is currently in the South. And they're winning games. Like, they've won 2. I know they got mollywopped by the guys who we expect them to get mollywopped by, but...
I think this is a similar situation with the Blitz here, where you can only beat certain teams in front of you, but they did get whooped by the only other competitive teams. Best of the rest kind of situation.
I think this is actually the rest.
This is actually the rest.
Yeah, I hear that.
Like 4 through 6.
Yeah, I hear that.
And I got a lot of time for some of these. I think like some of these players are like stand-up guys and stuff like that. Like this, and I think there's some players who play for a few of these teams who would thrive around better players and better coaches and all this kind of stuff. They kind of get lost with the group. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but obviously the scores are the scores, right?
You got to get more points to get against the Blitz to be getting out of this best of the rest conversation.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like 14-9 to the Cheetahs makes it look like they are at that level of 4-5. It's like 1, 2, very clearly. 3, maybe closer to 2 than you would like. 4, 5, and then
you see what I've been doing this whole.
1, 2.
Yeah, but
3,
in the previous episode,
4, 5, 6.
But I'd even say, even with like the fact that we're confidently talking about them as best of the rest, that is arguably an overachievement objectively from a team that just came up.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Good. It's
fair.
good.
In that context, in that well, you
Teams
come
get
up.
relegated before they go back up. Did they get relegated?
Who?
Yes, as Farnham. Yeah, they used to be.
Yeah,
So this was the team that got relegated the year before.
No,
They got relegated
Like 2-3 years
6
ago.
years ago,
Oh, 6 years
2019.
ago. Oh, 6 years
2019.
ago.
So when they were Farnham.
But
But do you know? I will say, considering like they lost quite badly in the final because they didn't have Calvin Stitt, their QB.
Okay.
So considering that Calvin's not there, and they are beating a Prem team in Cambridge, beating a Prem team in Hertfordshire, scoring points against a Prem team in
I think 39-0 against the team that just got promoted is crazy.
what, 35-0?
35.
35-0, yeah.
No, but Cambridge, they've taken a big hit this year,
Yeah,
so
they're poor.
they
I watched
are
their
going
game.
down.
Yeah.
Have they lost anyone else?
They've lost everybody.
lost to everyone.
No, I mean like, okay, who have they lost? Sorry.
They don't
Everybody.
have anyone up.
Oh, you're talking about people.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who's.
Oh, I
actually-
don't know them like that. I just
But yeah, no, they are surprising me, and they are constantly making signings as well, which is good, which is a good sign. People, they seem to attract people. I don't want to say somehow, but because somehow makes it sound like it's bad, but it's
I
like
get you. Some teams,
people-
I know, like it's.
people just gravitating towards Farnham, and I want to know why. Because Rushmoor, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're clearly doing something right to bring all these kids, especially they have a good connection with Oxford Brooks, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of Oxford Brook players are going there to develop, even from Reading as well, just going there to play, and they seem to be getting the results. I know that they made some bigger signings.
Very good at attracting players. Like, I'm not sure what team it is. I think it's one of these Lancashire teams or something like that. They got like 40 players at training on like Easter weekend, and that's not all their players. And they're still recruiting now. They got like over 60 players or something like that.
Yeah, man. But
they got to be good though.
definitely better than expected.
I think we play them in a week, so yeah.
Okay, so definitely better than expected. And one of the final segments on the South is the bottom of the table clash. So getting into the bottom of the table clash. So this game happened, I think, like last weekend.
At the time of recording, yeah.
Yeah, last weekend.
Yeah.
So like, it was interesting because I just wanted to see like, are these teams as bad as it looks like? Particularly with like obviously Rushmoor, we said better than expected. Just to see the game, and watching the game back, it's a challenging watch. Like basically, neither team really executed at all. There were a bunch of turnovers. They wanted to throw the ball all the time, even though they couldn't seem to complete a pass. Like, and then in the end, it ended up 10-8. But Hertfordshire, if you watch the game, Hertfordshire were notably better than Cambridge. But like as a player and with the team that's not necessarily towards the bottom at the moment, one of the things I took away from this game, and I always remember it, is that like if you let people be in a game, you're stressing yourself out. Because last play of the game, they're on 4th down. Rather than kicking a field goal, Cambridge, they decided to go for it. I understand why they went for it. They tried to kick field goals in the game and they
win the game.
Yeah, to win the game. They tried to kick field goals in the game and they basically missed. And I think one of them is one of the reasons why they've essentially got 2 points, if I remember correctly. Yeah, one of the kicks that they took, they missed it. The guy picked it up and ran it back for 2 points, I believe. But regardless, like at the end of the game, they've decided to go for it on 4th down. They've missed that. But Cambridge shouldn't have been in this game. They shouldn't have been in this game. Like, they're basically throwing you the ball for fun. Your defense has scored a pick 6. Yeah.
Clash of the Cats.
Clash of the Cats. I should have thought that. But did anyone else manage to check out this game? Like,
Sadly, yeah.
On film, yes.
Yeah. There's not really anything to really waste time on with this. So I can't lie to you. Go because I think both of the Cambridge touchdowns this year have been defensive, obviously against the Warriors as well, and this.
Were they scored against you?
They scored against our offense. Yeah.
It's one team. Why are you trying to segregate?
No.
It's one team. They scored against you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah.
The only team that scored against you is.
No. Funny enough, obviously this is gonna sound so bad, but obviously we've actually conceded against both of these teams. Both were offensive.
Sorry.
That's so rude. You might not get to get roasted. You might not get roasted.
It's
I
fine.
wish you watched this game. I wish you watched this game.
But it's okay because we don't have losses. You might have losses.
I'm already saying this.
Yeah, like,
I'm already saying this.
You might not get to get roasted.
I'm only saying this because the Cats did score against Rushmoor, innit?
Sorry.
yeah. Okay.
I see laughing like that.
And that's okay. You might have L's. We don't have L's. It's fine. But like, again, it's what happens when you drop your guard defensive. Well, no.
Why are you laughing on me?
So yeah. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Like
Rushmoor, the most stout team.
so. Yeah, but it wasn't really a great showing from either team.
No, it was poor.
And I saw someone actually put a comment, I think, in the YouTube about what is the fascination with Sport Tank and Hertfordshire, because it's like they're clearly like not one of the better teams. So why are you broadcasting their product when there's
Because you man don't let them.
no, it's not that.
You.
No, but why?
It's you man don't let them stream you from you.
All right.
If people could just watch the Warriors game on stream, you think they would want to? It's your fault.
Don't blame us for the hardship that Hertfordshire putting on everyone else. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, because
No.
if we could stream at Greenwich, would we not stream the Warriors games and watch a good level of football?
Yeah, but like, all right, cool. But end of the day, not a great game.
No, not the end of the day.
Move on, bro.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Nah. Move on.
They don't want to see them.
No, but if you saw what happened, obviously at the end of the day, Warrior football is Warrior
How did the
football.
Cats score?
So it was Hertfordshire, no, Cambridge.
Whichever
Cambridge.
cat light you want to talk about. Well, how did they score?
Yeah, no, I can talk about that. That's fine. So Cambridge, the Cambridge score. To be fair, it was a goal line pick, and I can't lie, it was a very good play from the DB.
Goal line pick.
Yeah,
You
so
guys were in the red zone. And then
we were. I didn't even know we were in the red, but we were on offense, and
And they said,
the DB picked it in the end zone,
Mhm.
and he was running it back, and then luckily Eden he tracked him down, tackled him,
Okay.
but then it was a third down play where
so wait, how far did he get?
he got quite far, maybe to their 40 or 35, maybe. It was quite a big return. Anyways,
He didn't call him.
pardon?
He didn't call him. That's
Yeah, you didn't call him. I know, surprising. So
I do
third down,
like
the QB, like he managed to get out of the pocket. Well, fair enough. And then he just threw it downfield. They just found a hole. And then our safety tried to hit stick instead of tackle.
Yeah.
And then what?
Is the same thing?
Just one of our safeties.
And
And then, so then the receiver, he bounced off instead of falling and then just went to the end zone. So
Instead of calling it he passed off instead of
this was the script. Like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't understand. Like, that wasn't what you meant to do.
Yeah, the Warriors. That is funny. Hey, listen. If anyone hits you, fall on the floor, bro. What's wrong with you?
I mean, I would have fallen, you know. But then,
You wouldn't know.
and then the Hertfordshire score was it was a fumble. So one of our running backs, he fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Just one of our running backs. He fumbled the ball and then
Dude, he didn't get the script back today.
yeah. And then one of their players just recognized that it was a live ball because it kind of like fumbled out of a pile and then he just returned it. And yeah, they got their touchdown. So
Fair enough.
I'll be celebrating like crazy.
yeah, no, and like well played to them because
the defense hasn't conceded outside of the Aztecs game.
not really, no.
Well, they technically conceded.
Oh no, sorry.
But yeah, the Cambridge one you can say yeah he bounced off. But yeah, so like that those are like those lapses that we talk about where just one error can cause. So it's fine, but it's annoying because obviously that's not Warriors football. We've nearly conceded as much as we did last year throughout the whole year already, which is
And coming from those teams as well. So who's gonna score? Like your average could be higher this year, isn't it? Because you haven't played the harder teams as many times.
what we haven't played Blitz and Bristol the second time.
Play them again, innit?
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, of course you don't rate LDB on the Blitz.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
to be fair, I can't.
I think they'll definitely score against you guys.
I don't know because fortunately for them, I'm not going to be at the games because I have commitments outside of football.
That's
So
Bigger than football.
pardon?
bigger than football. So.
Yeah, things way bigger than football.
Yeah.
So so I'm not going to be able to see it live. I'll get updates from it. But
How many times do you think they'll score?
how many times do I think who will score?
Blitz, maximum.
Maximum.
He doesn't believe they're going to score. That's
Yeah,
very evident from the demeanor he's had
think-
so far.
No, but the Cats and the thing, the Cheetahs.
Yeah, but those are one-off. Didn't you hear the script? They didn't listen to the script.
Sorry.
The
Like-
Cheetahs.
So
Okay.
what's the script saying?
The thing is that if they get lucky, if the Blitz, because I would say that the only scores that were, because even if I had to,
If I'm happy
the
to.
Bristol touchdown, it was from a missed tackle from one of our DBs that then allowed.
This is sounding like a theme.
No. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's
so that's what I'm saying. It's just those like little moments, but then that's what football is. It's just like
the DB?
if one person accidentally messes up, don't worry about it. If one person actually messes
They're
up,
trying to get
then
names.
it equals 7 points. Equals 6 points.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, we played the Blitz, and like I said, I'm big fan of what they've done. But you know, our corner at the time, kind of QB watching, no clue where the receiver is. Receiver goes for 6.
So if they do get lucky, I'll say maybe 2 scores, like throughout both games.
Okay, so you're saying the maximum they can score is 2.
I think so.
Throughout both games.
Yeah, one score each game.
Yeah, so 1 score each game.
Look, last
They only scored once, and even that was a lucky score.
If you're Cedric right now, and you're like, look at what we did to Aztecs, and Aztecs let them score once.
I hear what you're saying. The only reason I'm saying
I'm taking the under on 1.5 scores.
Yeah, like, and that's
Over 2
nothing.
games, I'm
That's
taking the under.
that's nothing against Blitz per se. That's just everything
I'm
for
just
the Warriors. Because I know who we are.
Maximum across
I know who
2
I
games,
am.
1.5 scores.
they're scoring now. So one
They're
thing
scoring against Hertfordshire and Cambridge. Don't get me wrong. And then I remember because they thought that we were crap because we let Cambridge score. Fair enough. Until the Bristol Warriors game happened, and then the Bristol London Blitz game happened, and they realized that
that's
there
the
are
point
levels
that
to
you
this
gotta
game.
take, though. It's like, yeah, they're scoring, but they only scored once. And once again, you know, there was some luck there, but they did only score once.
But by their own admission, they fumbled it twice in like the goal line.
And
So
I'm not, but you're a big. What's the resume? say?
I am.
So-
I am.
Yeah.
You know,
This is my resume right now.
Fair enough.
This is my resume right now. So, what's it say? Yeah.
Undefeated.
Do you like the ring as well? Yeah, I can turn around if you want.
No, it's all good. It's good.
Wow.
So essentially for the South, then the rest of our expectations basically it's going to play
Locked
out.
off that conversation.
It's going to play out how the first half played out. Where it depends. Like maybe the London Warriors Bristol game will be another close game. Don't know who's going to win it, but if it's based on what happened last time, possibly the Warriors again. London Blitz to do what they've done and come third, and then the rest of the teams just to be doing whatever they're doing.
this is for the South, right?
Yeah.
Themselves.
Yeah, I think the 2 kind of key games will be London Blitz at Bristol and London Warriors at Bristol. Those are 2 key games, probably the most interesting games as well.
So, what Bristol is the key, pretty much.
Well, yeah,
It's an
I
interesting
think
game,
because look, if I'm being completely honest, just based on the way that we've played, obviously, I believe that on a great day, we can beat the Warriors. Now we haven't shown that over the past. It's got to be like 5 matchups now. No, there was the KK game.
Yeah, that KK game was crazy.
KK game.
But I remember watching that when I was injured. I said,
I was in Scotland. Okay, the KK game was
yeah,
serious.
that KK game was.
Yeah, the Warriors, I mean, D came out the game early, then you had Reynolds in, and KK KK made everyone on that Warriors defense look bad.
Did you win that nil?
Yeah,
That was
significantly.
like
But that's-
34-14 or 30-something 14.
But that's 2 seasons ago now, so I mean, we lost all the games last year.
Since, yeah. Because there was the home fixture, then there was the other home fixture, away, finals, and then this home fixture again.
Yeah, man. So
yeah.
not looking good.
Yeah.
It's just not looking good.
All right, then before we get into the Prem North, one of the things that have recently happened, the 3rd of June, was transfer deadline day. Don't know if there are any like major moves. I know for our team there wasn't any like major moves on transfer deadline day. But one of the things I thought was interesting, I scout this off of Coach Rob Smith from the DC of London Blitz. He had this on his Insta, and one of the things I didn't manage to get before it was removed is that what he claimed, and I'm assuming it's factual. He has no reason to lie about it. Is that they had 14 deadline day transfers. London Blitz are out here trying to make moves, trying to make plays.
But they believe in what they're doing. That's it. And you know, like the coaches are doing their job in making the players that they currently have and prospective players believe in what they're doing, regardless of the L that they took.
I got a question. For the guys who had moved to the Warriors from the Blitz, has anyone moved back?
Yeah.
Who?
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah.
Should I say? Yeah, no, he moved at the start of the season. One of the running backs.
Oh yeah, I thought that was
Dami.
Number 2 for
yeah.
Blitz now. And fair play to him. He got a championship and he bounced back, which is fair. But
I don't know. Fair enough. That's how it might look, but I don't know.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
He got a championship and bounced back. No, because the season before he played for Blitz.
Did he play a lot with you guys in that year that you won?
He had his chances.
Okay.
It's the Andy show. And didn't Ray come back as well?
Briefly. But Dami had his chances.
Ray.
He had his chances.
Running back Ray. Dude, that's what they do. They get to the playoffs and then you start seeing people come out the woodwork.
And to me, they all look the same, bro.
I'll never forget that final.
That's slightly racist still. That's slightly racist, bro.
Before I met any of you guys that played for like Warriors or anything like that, just to hear about these big black guys, I'm just like,
ooh.
So in
You know you're black.
like, bro, you know that, because obviously, like coming from a different.
I'm gonna say, like, you probably need to come down south a bit more because we exist.
No, from a
There's a
different.
bunch of us.
When you look at every
I'm
other
not
team,
Tom, you know.
no, when you look at. When you look at every other,
Shout out Tom, man.
when you look at every other team, obviously the Blitz, the Warriors have a lot more black players than any other team. They have it, so it's pretty obvious. And I just remember the 2019 final when you had your running back coming in. I think
Dwayne
Watson.
Yeah.
Was still playing back then. I thought I was playing against the same running back. I didn't know until I got home that you guys were rotating
That's called concussion.
every other.
That's called a concussion, bro.
I didn't even know it was.
But yeah, we're moving on to the Prem North. So this is the Prem North table as it currently stands. Shout out Coventry Phoenix. Like we might have had a little bit of a stumble,
Do you
but
know what? I like you guys, but it's just not looking good, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
4 points against. It's not looking
That's
good.
looking woeful.
I'm sorry.
Third best points in the league.
All I know is that the position on the league is what matters, not how many points you score. It's the wins you get and
If
where
you got
you're
any
standing.
questions, ask the questions. I'll give you context.
Okay, hold on. So wait, so you guys beat Manchester.
Beat Manchester. We've beaten everyone here except for EKP 9-7. But the key thing in that statement is that we won.
Cool. So when I conceded, when Warriors conceded against Hearts and Cambridge, we were crying.
You
didn't focus on the fact that it was 60-7 and 50-7, 60-6.
You guys. Let's just admit, you guys are doing something else at the moment. Yeah, you shouldn't be conceding against us.
The reason I laughed, and I laughed as hard as I did, is when he mentioned Rushmoor not conceding against them. That's what set me. That's what set me. That's what set me. But like,
and it's the way you kind of like. You kind of snuck it in there, like, oh yeah, by the way, they both scored against us. Like...
But yeah,
no, listen, I'm with it, and I feel some kind of way about this because it's only the head-to-head by 2 points.
Yeah.
Manchester are the best team in the North.
That's not what the league says. That's what.
What do you mean? Look at the points for. Look at the points against. I don't even like Manchester, but I'm backing them.
Look at the standings.
Disgusting,
Yeah, exactly. Do it. That's disgusting, bro. Do you know how much it takes for me to say this?
Okay.
If Manchester was so sick,
Hold
if they were so sick.
Hold on, give me a sec. One sec, Junior. One sec. They have more than doubled the points for, and they have half the points against.
Against who?
You guys, have you not played the same teams?
We haven't played. No.
Okay.
So you think Nottingham going to do something? You think you guys are going to do something against Nottingham?
Is that where they got the 66 from? Was it against Nottingham?
No, that was against Newcastle.
Against Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
And Nottingham, I think it was only like 17-2 or something like that.
17-2, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna see it. But this is how it currently stands. And
Junior is hot.
No, talk your ish, bro. Talk your ish.
I'm just saying.
When is your return fixture?
No, all I'm saying, you know what's so
Nice.
last game of the season.
yes, last game.
Yeah, cool. Same as us. Same as us.
But we'll say, really? That's gonna be a lit weekend.
Yeah, and I was on the Saturday as well.
No, anyway, let me finish. So what I was saying, if Manchester was so sick, they would have scored against us more than once.
When did you guys play?
That was their first game.
That
That was Manchester's first game.
They had 3-4 week rest compared to everyone else. What do you mean? Okay, cool. It's their first game.
Yeah, but live reps is different.
Yeah.
What is first game?
First game.
We played them first game of the season for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, no, but the first game, I don't know a team that their first game is their best game. Or anything.
We lost against EKP in our first game.
Exactly. Is that happening again?
No, for different reasons.
Alright, cool.
Find out.
Nah, don't say but now.
You're sliding the goalposts,
In my
bro.
opinion, we lost.
You're sliding them.
We made a defensive mistake in the last minute. That's the first thing how I thought we lost.
Okay, so now defensive mistakes matter.
No. But as in they won the game.
So it's cool when you do it.
No,
No.
I'm not trying to use this as an
Alright,
excuse. No, they won the game. We just should have done better on defense. As in defense,
cool.
we basically gave up.
Junior is sulking in
But before we get into it,
Tomorrow's gonna have to do it this weekend. Sunday, someone's gonna have to do it. I'm not gonna lie.
one of the things we spoke about in the previous episodes is how like competitive we felt that the North was going to be, and was it more competitive than expected? Was it as competitive as expected? No clear leaders. Like I'll show you what the current standing is, but going into the bye week, obviously we didn't have an episode, but going into the bye week, this is what the table looked like. Essentially, like the top teams were 2-1, the bottom teams were 1-2, and EKP was 2-2, and really it could have gone anywhere. If on the next weekend, if the games had gone another way, the table might look close. And now us and Manchester are pushing away. But was it as compared? Because I remember you saying like you reckon it'll take more than 2 weeks, and it really did. It took like 4 weeks, really 5 weeks before something came in. But was it?
I would say that this week could change everything all over again. If we don't win, then we're on the same. We got the same record as EKP.
Are you playing?
EKP.
So you don't. So there's a possibility that you might not win against EKP.
Well, we lost against them. It'll be foolishness to say that there's no possibility that we might not lose.
All right, cool.
It'll be foolishness.
No, it's cool. That's all I wanted to hear. Because what was the Manchester score against EKP?
No, Junior rides for his team, bro.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I ride for my team.
I rate it so much. Junior's like, I don't care what I've said before. We're obviously the best team. Yes, we're both 3-1, but our 3 wins are more valuable. We lost, and it was our first game, but that didn't matter.
What you said, man.
I agree. The first game, it does matter, and it shows, right? It's their first team, and you know what? I'm sorry, yeah. And bear in mind, I do like you guys. Let's.
No, it's all love.
I don't necessarily have any affinity for Manchester. I know a couple of their guys, but they are new head coach.
Who was there before?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, bro.
That
It's a new head coach. No, it's a new head coach.
Significantly different.
Yeah, new head coach.
Right, because people come in different styles.
And I agree with you. I'm not going to argue that. Yeah, fair enough.
No, talk your ish, man.
Right?
Talk your ish.
So new head coach. New QB, a bunch of guys retiring, a bunch of guys there. So it is essentially a very new team. Not to say that maybe Knicks isn't a new team, because I know like it's not the same QB that was playing last year. Last year you had Kush.
Yeah, we had all the year.
But you know, like it's still Coach Nelly, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Still, you know what I mean? So this is George Foster. He's coming in. I think this is the first time he's been a men's head coach. I don't know about uni.
Yeah, this should be the first time he's a head coach.
It's not necessarily exactly.
Is he not head coach of Corney?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Is he DC?
I think
so.
No, he wasn't DC either.
Was he not assistant DC or something?
Yeah, they were on the staff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, you know, it's a new. It is not the same team, right?
Yeah,
it's not the same team. So they've got to kind of get up and running, and yeah,
Titans dominance. Are the Titans back? Like to be
Lost, man. That first game was trash.
And you know what? To be fair, I'm not going to take away from Manchester because what they've clearly shown is that they've been dominant.
Bro, you beat them by 2 points.
That's what they've clearly shown that they've been dominant.
Do you know who you're moving like? Can I tell you who you're moving like right now? You're moving like Nottingham when they beat Uwe by 1 point in week 1. That's how you're moving.
What?
No. See these Midland teams.
Don't do that.
See these Midland teams.
What?
Crazy.
That's how you're moving, bro. I'll beat Junior, and I don't want to lie to you, but that's how you're moving.
You know what? To be fair, and
That's how you're moving.
You know what?
You know what I'm going off? Let me tell you what I'm going off, right?
Because
going
week 1 chance is nuts.
I'm going off these guys, yeah. I'm going off when you say week 1 champs, we're not week 1 champs.
But you are though.
No, we're not.
Actually, no.
We're 3-1. Please.
Yeah, no, you lost.
You guys are moving mad. You know what?
They lost in week 1.
I
Sorry,
accept
I forgot.
that Manchester have had dominant performance. I accept that, but you guys need to respect our record. Our record is 3-1.
You have the same record as them. You have the same record.
And yet,
Reload it. Go back, bro. We have the same record as them. They have a better points
we have the
against.
same record. We have the same record, but you're acting like we're below them. But on the table, we're above them. It's not like I'm saying we're second.
It's a divine miracle.
Miracle.
We're giving so much respect to these guys, and we're not talking about Coventry finish right now.
Because what is there talking about Coventry?
Why are we talking about Manchester?
What do you mean?
They scored a lot of points. Do you know how pissed off I was when we had that tight game and then they went to go and drop 66?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
66.
What was the score against you guys in Newcastle?
17-10.
17-10. Hold on. Do you hear that? 17-10, 66-0. Cool.
You know there are two
Move
sides
on.
of the ball,
Move
right?
on. Move on.
There are two sides.
No, move on.
Listen, no, I will say,
No, move on.
say, and maybe I'm gonna get myself in trouble, but this feels like a very Midlands thing, bro. Because
move on.
we all I remember is during the winter season, we lost the first game. We knew we were better, but obviously the team that won was on top of the table.
Okay, cool. So
When it mattered.
just so I understand, you guys are basically adamant
points in the second
that
half.
Manchester are better than us. That's what you're adamant.
I'm not saying that, but
I'm going to have an attack.
Based on what?
I think so. From what I can see.
based on the statistics.
Based on the fact that they've pumped every other team except us.
Yeah.
How are they able to drop more than...
Let's beat them by 2 points in the first game of a new
And this is the
regime.
thing, and if you even think about it, I'm not even doing too much about us being so much better than them. I'm trying to say they're not as good as everyone thinks they are.
I know that.
I'm not saying
I've
I've
seen
done
it.
anything crazy,
Right.
but again, how disappointed I was when they only dropped 7 points on us off one play. They didn't even move down the field or nothing.
Yeah,
And they had 5 turnovers.
First game.
We gave them the ball. Our QB threw them the ball. Has
First
that
game.
5 times. You can't do anything with it.
First
the
game.
Look, all I'm hearing is it's going to be Warriors, Aztecs, 3 in the finals this year. That's all I'm hearing.
Warriors, I think.
I don't know where
As
you're
in,
hearing
as
that
in,
from.
as in round 3, because we played them twice, and then it's going to be Warriors,
I
Aztec,
don't know where
round
you're
3
hearing that
again.
from, but we'll see.
We're not talking about the South right now.
No, but that's from what I'm hearing.
When we find out who's
But from what I'm hearing about Manchester, Coventry, EKP, Newcastle, Nottingham seasons ain't even in part of this shit.
You're insulting. You know that, yeah? You know you're insulting. You're insulting. Yeah, like that's like. He did as well. You're actually bad, you know. You're bad for that, you know.
Wait, let me ask you this.
No,
Yeah?
but to-
Let me ask you this.
Right.
With an offense that isn't always firing hot, yeah. Okay.
Or firing at all.
Explain to me how a team that is meant to be super hot, struggles that bad.
He said first game of the season. That's his reason.
Just saying it's down to the first game.
Regime. Yes, I think if you're the first-time head coach for a senior team, you have some learning to do. If you are starting your first senior game at QB, you have some learning to do. The linebacker kid, his first senior game in the Prem, he's got some learning to do. I think that there's been a lot of turnover with the team. Dude, once again, I might just be defending Manchester because my mom's from Manchester. Maybe that's why. But I'm just saying.
You're the one that come out from nowhere.
Yeah, because of him. I'm like, and you know what this is confirming to me, because I already knew this. What it's confirming to me is that had we lost that game to Manchester, we would be written off completely. We would be written off completely.
You're going to get to the playoffs.
No, as in like in terms of that
You're
the difference between Manchester and us would be like it's ridiculous. Like, and I'm like, I understand it, cool. They've won big games, but like, I'm actually just disappointed in the rest of the league and how they played against them. But Manchester have clearly shown that they can be dominant, and I can't take that away from them, and I wouldn't want to take that away from them. We'll play them again come this season, and then we'll see what happens. But I feel like we deserve more respect. Like, we're top in the standings. We lost one game at the beginning of the season, similar to Manchester. And what? Because Manchester have scored more points than us in the games they've won. They're God's gift. Nah, man, I'm not hearing this. I'm not hearing this.
Scored more points. Like, I hear it. They've scored a whole bunch of points here.
And conceded.
But they can't do that with us.
Conceded less.
They can't do that with us.
So they scored more and conceded less.
They should come and do that to us.
No, but they scored more and conceded less.
Okay, and then conceded less.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Let's just wait till the end of the. Let's just wait till final game. Just wait till final
Who
game.
did you play?
We played Newcastle twice.
And,
Newcastle didn't score against our offense. They scored against didn't score against our defense.
What was the scores of those two Newcastle games?
17-10, 19-0.
17-10, 19-0. So in one game against Newcastle, they scored more than you scored in two.
Scored more than everyone scored.
So one thing I will say is, across the north, I don't think any of the QBs are better than the 2 starting QBs for Warriors and Bristol.
Okay. Even
that guy's nothing. That guy's.
The fact that people are saying that he's better than the QB they had last year is actually, I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
I thought him I was his number 1 receiver on the day.
I couldn't believe it.
Kept throwing him the ball. Love it.
That's a violation.
No,
That's a
DB
violation.
is just a personality.
to be fair to him, his receivers didn't help him, but he's not better. He's not better than the QB they had last year. Like, personally, I don't think it's close. I don't personally think it's close.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, that's Manchester. It seems like we're split. Probably understandably, we don't think they're as dominant as these guys think they are. But fair enough, they score.
I didn't say they're dominant. They're gonna lose. They're not making it to the final.
As in, not necessarily playoffs.
That just shows the standard in the north, though.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. The future. No one knows the future. And then,
I do.
One of you man's got to come and play. One of us in the north will have a fun with playoff.
And there's gonna be a jolly old ride for Bristol.
All right, let's see. Don't worry. Let's see. Like, you man are very confident now. When we do the episode after that, I'm looking forward to that one.
All right, cool.
And then we've got EKP, who are like the Dr. Jekyll and Hyde of the league, and essentially their home games they win, and they're actually relatively dominant in their wins. Not the first game of the season, but that's first game of the season blues, as T would say. That's everybody.
Do you know what? Fair.
Yeah, first game of the season blues.
Do you know, and what it says to me is it's 2 points. So yes, it is the first game of the season where anything can. Now, if they had absolutely pumped you, that's different. But you win by 2 points, and it's the team's first game of the season. I'm not looking at that as an indictment on the team.
Neither am I. I just want the equivalent respect for certain. I'm sorry, I'm bringing it back to this. I just want the equivalent respect to Manchester for having the same thing.
Their own slide, right?
The Coventry have their own slide.
Slide?
No, I don't think so.
You didn't put a Coventry slide in this.
No,
That's
it's not
crazy,
Coventry.
and you play for them.
No, there's not a Coventry slide.
I'm supposed to give more respect to your team, and you didn't give them their own slide.
You're a captain, right?
I am a captain, yes.
Dang.
You guys are moving mad. You guys are making it seem like it's more than this.
What is there to talk about?
Don't even entertain it.
Junior's done with the episode.
What is there to talk about?
Junior's done with the
What is there
episode.
to talk about? We've dealt with everything in our way apart from the EKP hiccup. 2 points difference. Touchdown scored in the last game in the last minute of the game or something like that. And while I'm here, like, no shade or anything, but Mark Stewart is not the one to watch in that team. It's Stewart Bailey.
Who's that?
The receiver that caught the last minute touchdown on you guys.
The one that
Yes, it's him.
All right, cool.
Yes, it's him.
I just wanted to make sure.
I'm finished. What's it called? So yeah, we go focusing on EKP just for this little segment. Like,
What's his name? Stuart Bailey.
Struan.
Struan.
Yeah. Used to be a GB, I think, 2 years ago. So
spent a whole year doing high rocks and then decided he was going to come and play football again.
You let a hybrid rock star.
Don't say you, 'cause, like, I was just watching it happen.
No, you know what high rock stands for,
what's
right?
going on?
Hybrid rock star.
Hybrid rock star. Yeah.
Rock star score on you guys.
I did
EKP.
and then their away form has been lacking. Essentially, when they've gone away, like they've just struggled. And I thought the most interesting one, okay, Manchester, as it seems to
Nottingham.
be seen, is that it was the Nottingham one because they convincingly won at home. Right. They literally had Nottingham the next week, and then Nottingham, like the game was close up until half time, but then Nottingham pulled away. So like
flip scores, they're field goal away from it being exactly the same score.
Yeah, precisely, and that's what really surprised me. And it seems as though this season, particularly, that they're just not traveling well. Like they're struggling with the away games, like whether it's the travel or what. But it'll be interesting because I've got them coming up tomorrow. they're going to come down to us. We'll see how that game goes. Like, yeah, but it's just.
So you guys are playing them tomorrow? Dude, you cannot lose that game.
I don't.
No, if you lose it, it's banter. It's banter.
I don't intend to lose the
So
game.
let you guys know now, yeah. We got like 4 receivers, bro.
No. Stop making excuses now, bro.
I was thinking, where you going with that?
I'm saying.
Where you going with that?
It's not looking
You can't lose that,
bro. I'm telling you, we're going to win. We're going to win.
Junior, you yourself.
You know what will
I'm
happen?
telling you guys.
You're going to set the next date and Junior's not going to be available. We're not going to do another episode until playoffs. If you guys lose that game. And I can see it now. You're going to have to call in his brother to fill in.
We're going to win this game. It's calm.
Cool.
But yeah, they've inducted Jekyll and Hyde, and we'll see if that sticks out for the rest of the season. But like,
This is going to sound like I absolutely hate Coventry.
No.
I love that. I thrive off the hate, man. Bring it, man.
I don't have any hate. I just think, I know collectively there's going to be hate for Manchester. So,
but it's not.
It's not hate, you know.
And it's coming across as hate because you guys are so strongly putting them above us. That's really what it is. And I'm like, give us our respect. Like the league says we're number 1. We have the same record. Why is it that we don't earn the respect? Like, why are you basically disregarding us? It's like
Fugazi number 1, bro.
Lord have mercy. You see that?
Fugazi
You see that?
What, just because we have the best defense in the country?
I just gonna set that one.
All right, cool.
That's it. Like,
cool.
I'm always the one saying, yeah, you are what your record says you are. Our record says this, the paper says this, and you still don't want to respect it. And that's where I'm at.
Okay, you're right.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you.
It says that you have 3 wins. Yes. It says that you have 1 loss.
Yes.
It says that you scored 60.
You see, you're being picky. It's
on paper.
Does it say that?
It's on
The
paper.
next statement should be, it says that we're top. And then you can go into everything else.
No, I'm
I don't
saying
want to hear anything else. It's like, what's the top?
it says that you conceded 35.
Okay, yep.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Cool.
Just
Also says, you see, you still haven't added it. It also says we are top. That we are number 1.
It says your record is 3.
No. You keep saying our record is 3 instead of saying that we are top of the
Do you
table.
not have 3 wins?
Why do you not want to say we're top of the table?
Do you not have 3 wins?
Why do you not want to say we're top? I've already accepted that we have 3 wins.
3 wins?
Are we not top of the table?
Am I missing something?
Are we not? Yes, that we're top of the table. Say it, that we're top of the
I hear
table.
what you're saying.
You see this guy?
Miratio.
You know what?
This guy don't want to accept we're top of the table. I don't understand it.
How can I not accept it? It was there.
Say it then, please.
If
It was there. You showed the standards.
If this is how the season ends, who's going to playoffs?
I think you guys should be going playoffs anyway. If you don't go playoffs, Junior, that's a whole separate conversation.
So you're saying
they gotta do a
we're
one-to-one. I'm gonna interview you if you man don't make playoffs.
you can interview me after the Cov Aztecs game at Butt Park.
Listen. I feel like in victory and defeat, I'm cool. I think you'll struggle.
Ask this guy about me in defeat.
No, he's not
Because
quite
first of
sure.
all, if the team is losing, I'm probably not losing. I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be one of those. Oh, they lost.
It's not even
They
they lost. It's not even they lost. Like, I'm so empowered in what I'm doing here. I'm not gonna feel like a loser. It can't happen. Ask this guy about how I was feeling in the middle of that Germany game. I was in Germany.
That was crazy. I remember I was looking at him. I was like, why do you look so happy? And I'm like, we're getting mollywopped. He's like, well, I'm having a good day. You're having a good day. Why am I going to be stressed? All right. So what's the rest of the season expectations for the North? Like, evidently, well, I'm assuming based on how you guys have been talking that your belief is that Manchester is basically going to become top. So like Manchester's going to win and then beat us in that final game of the season.
No, I fully expect you man to win that game.
This guy's on mind game.
I'm telling you that Manchester's our last game. Yeah, at Manchester. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that not Newcastle game could be what decides who's going down / playing in that relegation game. But I think EKP Newcastle will be an interesting game just because it seems like the rest of the table seem to have just started deteriorating after their first 2-3 weeks of games in terms of like how they're just losing games. But
QB has apparently broken his hand as well. I don't know if that is true, but yeah.
Look, I just want to say that Nottingham were giving it a lot of flack before the season started. I think
that's a Div 1 thing. Div 1s often do that.
Definitely Div 1 thing because all
Div 1
fueled
fueled with Bucks players.
but like it's just so funny to see. Because I remember, like I said, I don't want to name names, but I remember someone coming to me. Like after this, they said that we are going to travel up to Nottingham to play the playoff game.
You can drop names. No.
It's not
Well, look at them now, they're bottom of the league. Unless you turn the table around.
No, you're right. The bottom of the
They're
league.
going to be a box part, but fine. Lives.
Oh yes,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so we're still going to be. They're going to be there. They're going to be there Britball weekend, but they're fighting for their lives.
It could be them or Newcastle. You never know. It could go right down to the last weekend.
I think Newcastle are going to bring it back, man. They have to. There's no way you have the talent level that you have, especially at QB, and you don't.
Nah, you should watch. That.
No, I've watched, but I'm saying like you can't between him and Matt Wilson alone, bro. Like there's.
Yeah, but you just double Matt Wilson and see if the rest can do anything.
You don't even need to double Matt Wilson.
But let's say if you need
the defense just has to be good enough, and they'll struggle.
But let's say you want to put no doubt. You just double Matt Wilson and see if the rest of them can do anything. It doesn't seem as though.
And for some reason, they've got Matt Wilson at running back as well.
Playmaker.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oh, and then this was something that dropped relatively recently, which is interesting. Overall power rankings in overall power rankings in the across the two divisions, both North and South. So, oh well.
Shut down first down, Mag. I like.
Yeah, they're doing their thing.
Yeah,
they're doing their
some
thing.
interviews.
Yeah.
I found it interesting. Well, it seems like first time I agree with Cedric's viewpoint in the sense of like the North not just hanging up to what the South is, because Blitz have been put above the top two in the North.
I agree with this though.
Oh, you reckon Blitz?
I agree with this.
Really?
They are.
Because it makes me sound mad when he was trying to goad me with Blitz and I bit. And I said,
I don't think they'll do that to us, but for the fact that they're rolling so strong with what they're doing at the moment, because when you think about it, they're scoring. I'm comparing them to Manchester in terms of how they're scoring, but the Blitz have been more consistent with what they're actually. That doesn't sound exactly right when I think of our game against Manchester and your game against
The Blitz.
But I think I'll give it to them on the fact that they're a high scoring team at the moment. When you look at the points that all the teams have scored, they're up there above 100 points. I don't think we scored 100 points yet.
65.
You don't think you haven't even scored 70 yet?
I'm on defense. I do my job on defense. If you look at the stream, I'm not even looking at the floor. I'm looking at the crowd. Nice to see you guys. But anyway, yeah, I agree with this as is.
Do you guys agree with it? You guys feel like it's? I think it's an interesting one, but based on the argument stuff, I can hear that.
As long as Warriors is number one, I agree. But I do think that you could swap Manchester and Coventry. I'm sorry, because obviously, like power rankings.
Back here, like what? No. How are we back here?
Because power rankings. Because do you remember? So do you remember when they used to do uni power ranking? I think Sport Tank did it, and even though UE lost to Nottingham, UE was still number one.
Yeah, that probably meant that was also incorrect.
Well, it wasn't incorrect.
Based on the record or what happened on the day.
Because they realised that it's a blip.
No, there's a difference between the standings and the power rankings.
Okay, I hear that, but how you got a power ranking and you got two teams that have faced each other once, so you got to put the team that lost above the team that won.
No, because look at what they're doing. You can easily see that it was a blip. They have the highest scoring offense and the lowest scoring defense.
But this is what I'm saying. It's an argument. I get why it's an argument.
The two teams are together. They're together. If we're talking about Coventry Phoenix going against a team that isn't directly together, one after the other in the standing, then I don't understand where you're coming. You literally got. It's like, who's better, the Warriors or the Aztecs? And what, you'd give it to the Warriors in the one season that the Aztecs has played them and beaten them?
No, but it's the entire... It's a rich tapestry. You feel what I'm saying? Like...
What you're saying, I get how it would be relevant to standings.
No, it wouldn't be relevant to standings because the standings say that you beat them. Therefore, if you have the same record head-to-head... Yeah. You get me?
The results also say that we beat them, but okay.
That's what I just said. Like
you said, the standing. Sometimes you're semantics, so it doesn't want to give us our flowers. So I just want to make it clear that we actually won.
The standings is as a direct result of the results, right? Because you go with standings. After you go, you guys have exactly the same record. Then you go like head to head. What does that look like before you get to points for, points against? That's what dictates the standings. Whereas the power ranking is someone's opinion after looking through the games of who is better. And if that's where you would bake in what I'm saying, stuff like it was their first game, it's under a new regime. Which is why you could argue it. I've argued it enough. Just said that said it. I'm just saying that power rankings is different.
Well, I'm happy First Down Mag don't agree to that we're fourth. Like,
but
I'm happy that
at least we can all
and it's dropped today.
We can all agree that Warriors is number one, Cambridge is at the bottom.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Cool.
I can agree. I can agree with those two.
We can agree with that.
I can agree with that.
And see, to be fair, Caesars. Actually, I hear it because if they played Hertfordshire, you have to think about like if the team above played
I
the
would
team.
love to see Vikings play Rushmoor Knights.
That'd be a good game. I think Rushmoor's defense isn't that great. The offense is improving a bit.
Tell you, gotta see this Vikings offense, man. So overrated.
All right, so generally we at least agree with the top and bottom, and then in the middle it can change a little bit.
Yeah, I mean Aztecs is where they should be. I think
I think we should be third.
I'm messing with you a little bit in terms of like.
Sorry, what did you say?
I think we should be third.
I can see why you would say that. I don't feel like you have a commanding victory.
I hear that. We haven't had commanding wins. I hear that.
That's why you
last weekend, but that doesn't.
Yeah, but relative 19-0 is not even commanding. Relative to some of the sports that have been happening. We played
Vikings
Newcastle.
No, it's the way they played. Sorry, I'm gonna sound like I got a problem with this team. I really don't.
You do.
But I just didn't think they were that competitive for a team that's got an American QB. Last year, they were a lot more competitive.
They beat you guys.
Yeah, in the second game. Yeah.
By a point, yeah.
And then when they came down south,
you guys worked them.
That's not even relevant. No one wants. No. Just not put your games on TV, man. No, what's going on? No one even cares about that kind of stuff.
Moving on.
If you want to come watch a Warriors game, come to Greenwich.
I was watching that game.
Stream that game, man. Grow up. Stream it.
What game last week? We didn't have a game last week.
The semi-finals.
Oh, you watched it? Oh,
Richie thing.
Oh, right.
Going on to our last segment, which is revisiting the ones to watch. So, like, this is a reminder. These are the ones to watch from the north and the south, and we'll go through them individually. Like, luckily this year, I know that the league or BAFA's trying to push for people to use League Republic to put in some stats. Not all the teams put in the stats, but those that were available.
It's the same thing that on stream.
Yeah, there were other teams also that didn't put stats, but yeah, they were amongst them.
But my question is, we all know the results. So why do we need to put the stats? Why do we need to?
Do you know what? If
it's only the results that matter, just forget about all this stuff you've been talking about.
No. Yeah, forget that
results that matter.
Use this answer.
It's
for the same.
Get out of here, man.
It's the same reason that you suggested earlier that we should put in extra so that we send the team to Europe.
Okay.
Is why everybody should put in stats.
Okay, cool.
It's the same reason why everyone should.
Yeah, I hear.
Your answer, unfortunately.
I just wound up. I didn't remember. I didn't remember what I said.
And you'll know which teams haven't necessarily fulfilled theirs because we won't have stats for them. But like, cool. First and foremost, from Manchester, a team that's been getting a lot of love from that side of the living room. Abdul Madougou, who, looking at his stats, I think his stats are relatively impressive for 4 games. 1 sack, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble.
That interception was against you guys, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
All right, cool.
Yes, it was.
You would have gone a pick in that game.
But we're talking about Abdul. talking about Abdul. I haven't managed to catch some of the games that Manchester have done.
The kid can play.
Yeah, he's been balling.
He's legit. He's legit.
He's been balling, and like
he's cold.
He's been doing a good job. And like when he's been called upon, if I was being super critical of some of the stuff that I've seen, is that not anything on him. There's been a couple of times where he's made plays because the O-line decided not to block him, but he's been there. When he's got there, he's made a tackle.
He's in the right place at the right time.
Precisely, and as he grows into the sport, and if he keeps making plays like this, eventually people will recognize the name, recognize who he is, and recognize the number, and he won't get as many free opportunities where he's basically unblocking to doing stuff. He'll have to deal with blocks in order to do that. But
sounds familiar, man.
No, you're saying that because he can relate.
But
yeah, bro, hella relate, bro.
But it's
Ask
like-
Rushmoor about me.
yeah, no, he's definitely lived up. I think he's been born. He's definitely lived up to this. He's
Yeah, no,
he's
like from
definitely
what
lived
I've
up
seen
to
from some of the streams, he's
Definitely lived up to
legit. He's flying around. Like he loves the game and he
Yeah.
loves to hit. So that's what you want from a linebacker, someone who loves the game and will put their body
He's
in the
an
line.
athlete too.
I think this is the most spot on out of all the ones to watch.
Yeah, he's been balling.
Yeah.
Fair Manchester been balling.
Out of anyone else at Manchester, you give credit to the QB.
And that receiver, is it number 10?
11.
11.
Is it 11?
No, 10, Sam Penfold.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's been running that.
number 1 target.
It's the same play.
Yeah, I know. Every time I remember watching some of the games, I'm like, are you guys not watching the tape? That what they did on us? Like, but whatever. That's another conversation. All right, cool. Moving on to the Newcastle want to watch Matt Wilson, wide receiver. He's had to do a couple of things. I know against us in our first game, he had to play QB because their QB wasn't there. So he had 12 passing attempts, 6 completions, threw 3 interceptions. Obviously, that's not great, but he's not a QB. He's a receiver. But as a receiver, he's been their go-to, and he's made a couple of plays. He's made a couple of plays. Like even against us, made a couple of big catches for them. In the end, it didn't move them anywhere, but they were hard catches that he was aggressive at the point of attack, or he just made good contested catches. And I think he's balled for his team in circumstances that haven't necessarily always been the best for them. Like he's balled, although he hasn't scored a bunch of touchdowns for the way he gets targeted, which is interesting.
I will say, obviously, the defense has given up a lot of points, but Enrique Baptista, he's had to play middle linebacker, he's had to play off the edge, he's had to play D tackle. So he's one guy on their defense that's just having to do everything and making plays. At one point, I think he was leading the North in sacks as well. So,
Oh wow,
he's a decent football player and he's getting after it.
fair. Then we've got Mark Stewart. Mark Stewart back up in EKP. Been playing both offensively and defensively. Showing he can do it all.
But Junior doesn't rate him. And we knew that from the last
Oh my days. Who? No, wait. I said I do rate him. I just don't think he was.
You want to watch
as
him?
You don't think? Yeah,
as
I remember you
lot
saying that. Yeah,
we're saying.
they're saying that if you don't know about Mark Stewart, then you don't know football. That's what he said.
If that's what you're saying, then fair.
Yeah. I had another view to the thing in it now. No, but I think Struan's definitely their greatest threat.
Mark Stewart.
Struan.
Struan. Oh, Struan. Oh,
But this is the thing though, like Mark is playing both ways. Like
That's a choice that they made.
I think Struan's more impactful. I think he's scoring more touchdowns as well.
if that guy's a receiver, right? You got to load the box to play against him. Of course, the wide receiver's gonna be open.
Yeah.
I think
very true.
If you see the streams, you'll see that Struan is their main
It
threat.
is noble. But
I'm never gonna bet against Mark Stewart.
well, Mark's been balling. He because this thing's subjective. Like you wouldn't look at Mark's stats. He's looking like he's averaging close to about 4 yards, or maybe a little bit more than 4 yards a carry. Like he's got some catches. Even while running the ball, he's got 5 sacks, which is a notable amount of sacks. That's at least a sack a game, a little over a sack a game, which is impressive as it is. So like, it's undeniable that he's lived up to this. Whether he's the most key person on their offense in terms of how their offense moves, that can be argued.
Well, it's
but
not just about offense, right? It's just thinking about like team-wise. Who's the one to watch? Obviously, it says running back here, but he's getting it done on both sides of the ball.
yeah, that's fair. Right, that's fair. But I would agree with.
But yeah, you guys have played against them.
I would agree with. Well, in our game, I find it interesting. He barely got a look in our game.
I think
in our first game,
he's had a couple fumbles.
But they still won, right?
Ball security has been
He barely got looking, but they still won.
by 2 points in our last play of the game, which we established. But first
okay.
game blues, as T would say.
Okay.
What's going on here?
Who was your first game against?
Rushmoor.
But yeah, so he's balling. I think he's lived up to being a one to watch.
No, you man are white.
No, I'm just wondering.
That's
You
what
didn't, I thought you would have conceded that first touchdown in the first.
You man are white nose.
Then we've had Bami here for Coventry Phoenix, our team. And unfortunately, we haven't managed to get all the stats up. We have some stats up, but we haven't got all of our stats up because the honest.
From the sounds of things, the one to watch should have been my man over here.
It's subjective. It could have been anyone. But
Have you got any picks this year?
It's subjective. It's subjective.
No, there we go. No,
That's
there you go.
subjective.
How many times have I been targeted?
How many picks you?
Throw me the ball.
I thought I'm being
I've only
genuine.
got two.
I thought you had
You only
four.
got 2.
I should have. I got two. I got them in the last game as well. Throw me the ball. Watch the Manchester game. Watch the Newcastle game.
Oh, so they're not even targeting.
Yeah, no.
You got one to watch.
No, it's
I'm just
notable.
doing oral farming.
No, it's notable. Like literally, they literally don't throw the ball to his side, like which is crazy. Like it's actually crazy.
I'm telling you,
Treat
I
him
was
like
so
he's Rubens.
excited when that American QB decided he wanted to play football with me.
But in terms of guys want to watch Bami, although we don't have the stats, one thing our offense has struggled, which is evident from this guy's lack of respect for us, based on the fact that we haven't scored points. Our offense has struggled.
I literally have repeated what is on screen right now.
The energy in which you've given Manchester and just disregarded us, it just doesn't sit well with me.
They have 126 points scored.
How many did they score against us?
In their first game, they scored 7. How many did you score against them?
How many did we score against them?
Yeah.
Because that's probably your median score, even.
We scored a touchdown.
As a defense, we scored a.
So you scored
What's his
9.
name? Huh?
You scored 9 points against them.
Yeah.
They scored 7.
Against us?
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost.
They scored 7. You guys scored 9.
But Bami, as the running back, has done. No, he's done a really good job. Like in terms of,
I agree. I think Bami's done a really good job.
with the offense struggling
what
at
he
times.
has to deal with as well.
yeah, like there have been times where we just needed that first down. He's got it, and there have been times where there's been like people in the backfield. He's managed to dodge and dive, and then still gain the yardage. O-line has played and balled, obviously, that you don't get yardage without the O-line, but there have been times when they've even struggled and he still managed to get yardage and help the offense keep it ticking or giving a clutch moment some belief. So he's definitely been worth the one to watch, even though we don't have his stats. Like, yeah, if you watch the games, you can see that even when our offense is stalling, he's making yardage. So
Good for him.
moving on to Liam Macgovern, the Caesars QB. Yeah, I
Sorry.
What's so funny?
No.
I'm getting flash because they've got a pretty good social media platform, and they allow some of their players to speak about what they think is going to happen, and a lot of them have been talking a lot of stuff, but I don't really see it in the results.
Which is fair. They're bottom of the table, so the results clearly ain't showing that. One of the things I think is interesting, like.
Damn! You see the same thing I saw?
Yeah. Oh.
What, 2 passing touchdowns, 70
I'll
interceptions?
just see what I was gonna do.
I was reading. I was like, just over 50%
Yeah.
completion percentage, 500. Okay. Oh,
Hold on, -4 rushing yards. And he
Okay,
wasn't
so
the
he has-
rushing
he has-
leader.
He has 4. That's weird. So he has 4 total touchdowns.
4 total touchdowns, 2 running.
Do
2.
we know if he has any fumbles?
No, well, that's not been put, so I don't know if he has any fumbles.
So we can't do turnovers as a whole.
No, we can't do turnovers as a whole.
Okay.
We can only do
But
based on
yeah,
the
I mean,
Nah,
2 to 7 is not great
I can't lie.
I think 7 full stop is crazy.
in 4 games.
This fall from grace is
Yeah,
crazy.
it's almost 2 a game, which is a lot.
Yeah. How many of those are yours?
We
You
haven't
haven't
played
played
him yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you must be like chomping.
No, he's broken his hand, didn't it?
Oh, dude.
Are
Are you sure his hand wasn't broken before?
I'm
Because
finished.
he played like it was.
I'm finished. So, like, yeah, he's been there one to watch. Also, what's it called? Fair amount of passing yards, I guess. A lot of passing attempts, I thought, throughout the 4 games. Like,
They've got receivers.
yeah, but still, like,
As in DBs. Because it seems like he was passing to the DBs more than.
They've got, what's his name? They've got Ben Harrison, Josh Oluwatosi, and I assume some other guys in there. Got 2 GB receivers.
but yeah, well, their record hasn't been good. They've only won 1, lost 3. So, like,
Who did they beat again?
they beat EKP. EKP
Away.
The return
Is it away?
No, home.
It was
Remember?
home.
Yeah,
it was
the
And that's where their running backs had a field day. Their running backs had a really good game in that EKP game. So whether he was the right selection for ones to watch, I'm not sure. The stats seem to be up and down. Like you guys both highlighted, 2 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. It's poor. It's poor.
Before his suggestion, no shade to him, but I would have instead put Ben Harrison as the one to watch for Nottingham, yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair.
He was the MVP in the
bowl game.
bowl game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, fair enough. It's just this isn't great.
Moving on to the south.
My guy.
What? Where are all the expected?
There are no stats. No worries. Don't put any stats. They haven't inputted any stats. So like
any trick plays.
Don't worry about him.
Fake plays.
Don't worry about him.
I'm asking, have you done it? Well, you don't even tell people what happened.
He's clutch.
Has he missed any kicks at all? Oh, he's missed kicks.
He missed a kick against Bristol. I think it was like a 40-50 yarder. So fair enough. But yeah, no, he's been playing really well. Reiss has been playing really well. When it comes to some of the punts, like
hard not to.
What?
Hard not to.
Hard not to what? Hard not to play well.
Yeah.
Why?
Kicking
is a hard thing to do.
To be fair.
You kick a ball. You try to kick a ball.
To be fair.
He's a really good kicker.
No.
Pinpoint.
Recent I'm battering, but like when you in contrast, I'd say because he's obviously pushing for his GB role, been doing a lot of practice, and in contrast, I said he's got a lot of competition with Lenny, but Lenny hasn't had a similar story. Lenny's struggled a lot. Seen a lot of punts go over his head. I think they need to sort that situation out.
Oh, this Manchester special teams. Yeah, they've had their challenges, although they've been better. But even with, like, okay, cool, Reiss has done his job. He missed a long field goal. Whether he should have scored it or not, that's neither here nor there. But it's, I would still argue that, one, we don't expect the kicker. And two, with like the dominance of your points for and your points against being so low, like, still, should he have been the one to watch? Like,
I still think so.
Can you just tell me about some other guys in your team that are actually doing things?
Me.
Apart from you.
Okay.
Rob Warren, obviously. Absolute baller. Henry Rowland.
Okay.
Another great one.
Has he been good this year?
He scored two touchdowns against you guys.
Against you guys?
Yeah, no, I know, but just like in one game in general, because like last time he played for you guys, I didn't think he was like.
Yeah, but then he just came back.
Especially because you have Eden.
Yeah, no, but he's now playing receiver a bit more natural. And plus,
anyone who's not in the GB setup that's doing bits that a lot of us don't know about. I'd put someone on.
I'm trying to think because all my guys are ballers. So we've got DeAndre, he's doing his thing. What?
Is DeAndre your QB?
No, DeAndre is defensive.
D. Williams.
What position?
We also got
D. Williams.
No, sorry. What position is DeAndre?
Defensive line.
Oh, okay.
We've also got Kenichi. Obviously, yeah, but he's not on GV like you said.
Is he? But he's retired now, like yesterday or something.
Well, now that you brought it up, I mean, yeah, he's obviously because he's now, like I said, some things are bigger than football. Yeah. He's obviously got a massive gig with the ELF now. Yeah. So you have to prioritize your health.
Reels by Kuzo.
Yeah, Reels by Kuzo. Shout him out, like phenomenal work.
He's part of the Nordic Storm.
Yeah, he's one of the official Nordic Storm media team members. Like, and you can see his work. His work goes crazy.
Excellent stuff.
And the rate, his work rate as well, because the amount of videos he's been putting out, and the game just happened on Sunday. He's already released maybe 6-7 videos.
Yeah,
individual videos for people. So yeah. We have loads of players. I can't really speak on offense because I'm a defensive player, leader. So I like to look on our defensive side a bit more.
Fair enough.
But from top to bottom, all of our positions are doing well. From our DBs to our linebackers, no matter like the depth, to defensive line. I think we're doing a good job.
Fair enough. Well, so you guys are borders, but Reiss lived up to it.
Yeah, and I'll say Reiss is because without Reiss, we won't be in some positions that we're in.
You got backup kicker?
No.
Okay, moving on to Bristol and their one to watch, Ethan Gretzinger. And with some of the stuff that's been said around him, it seems like he's been the one to watch. He's lived up to it. I know the offense have struggled. I believe it's 7 quarters without scoring, but they then got their mojo back. So, and like his numbers suggest that he's been balling, even if they have struggled. So they've managed to move the ball, they just haven't managed to punch it in at times.
Yeah, Ethan's nice, man. Like I said earlier, I mean, I played with Emmanuel at Sterling, so Emmanuel Bauer, I think he adds a bit of heart to that team, and I think sometimes when you see him run the ball, you also get a sense for how good the offensive line are. So I think them as a collective, you know, I feel they have the ability to take over a game. But Ethan's different, man. Like Ethan can play ball. Ethan, he's a ball player. You know, he's a bit of a gunslinger, and if he needs to take off, man, like he can really run too. So
surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time I had to track him the asset. Like I was like, this guy is.
No, Ethan's nice, man. Like give him his props. He's got some good targets to throw too, as well. But yeah, he just different arm angles, all that kind of stuff. Like,
and his stats are looking healthy. Like it's looking like 7.1, 7.2 yards per pass attempt, which is strong. 10 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Like he's looking like he's doing a good job, like a strong job. Like,
and to be fair,
Ethan and Bauer, is there anyone else in your team?
Yeah, I mean, so we have on the defensive side, obviously you've got Idrissa Fofana, defensive line, but Adam Woodward as well. We just got Chenna Abassi back, which I'm super excited about. He plays linebacker.
Back from
so he hasn't played for a couple of years, but he played with me at UE and at Sterling, but he played with me at UE the first year that we won. Offensive side, obviously you've got Tim Lucas, you've got D-Rob as well. The offensive line, just to name a few, Will Bunce, Pemberton.
why are you smiling like that?
I mean, Lawrence, obviously.
They're.
What do you mean they're
No, they're solid. They're solid.
What's up, bro?
I said they're solid, bro.
No, what's up, bro?
They are
Do
solid.
you think we're Coventry Phoenix or something?
What is this? Like,
No, like
this is
Bristol. Like if we had to make like, let's say an all-star, if you had to like pick a
So
best-
if we combine the teams the way the Blitz combined with the Warriors, that's what you're trying to say. Right?
I was saying as in like,
So to go on and win a championship, if you have to combine two.
okay, you're completely missing what I'm going to say. What I was trying to say was that if you like had to pick the best position from each team, so as in like offensive line, like out of all the Prem teams, the best will be Bristol. Defensive line, out of all the Prem teams, I'll say Warriors.
I would agree with that.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, if you have to pick as in like the best unit, like in the Prem, like the best team, the team has the best unit in the Prem. Bristol,
You're putting it together like that. QB.
But then you have to think about first and second string because actually no. Does your second string?
Let's move on.
Yeah.
there's no stringing, we'll just be starters.
Yeah,
I think
it's close one.
Going for it, Cambridgeshire Cats.
We can skip this.
This is scoring actually.
No.
Cool. They only got one appearance, but they've lost all their games. So
Yeah, skip that.
don't know if he's bored or not. Leo Corney, very own Leo Corney from the Blitz. I don't think that on the stats that they've updated all of Blitz's games. They've done 2 so far, but
their running back 26, their right guard Jaden, I think on.
I've seen a lot of noise about their defensive end, number 11.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Yeah, no, I've just been seeing a lot of noise about him online. So
in terms of like ones to watch, like I could watch like those 2 players from playing them. I'm got to do abs going absolutely nuts. Their running back's really really good.
So I think the Warwick running back plays for the Blitz.
I thought the Warwick plays for Bristol. Is that the case?
Bristol?
The Warwick running back.
The Warwick running back? No, I thought he played for the Blitz.
Oh, fair.
No, but whoever I don't know his name, but you guys have said that he's at GB.
yeah,
The running back for the Blitz is really good. And,
Okay.
you know, I wasn't paying attention necessarily to their defense, so maybe this guy has been balling, but in terms of who's putting them in position, and like shout out their QB as well is not bad. So QB, and he took he took a bit of a beating, to be honest. But he's getting the ball where it needs to be. The receivers let him down sometimes. He's deceptively fast as well. I think he plays for Nottingham Green.
Okay, cool. That's good. That's the talent that's gonna come through.
Yeah, so he's not bad at all. Like he he gets some time, he'll put the ball where it needs to be.
I know for their offense, Timmy or Elijah started.
Yeah, Timmy's playing as well, isn't he? He didn't. I don't think he really did much against us. He wasn't the. His number 89 is someone smaller than Timmy actually, who I think was their like number one target receiver.
Fair.
So I think they got a tall receiver that's at GB as well.
Oh, the tight end.
The tight end. I don't think he's a wideout. He's a wideout. They got a wideout. I don't know his name.
I'm pretty sure it's like number 80 or something. They have a tight end who he seems to be doing things against Hearts, but it's hard.
Well, based on the fact that they've only updated 2 games and those stats are like they're reasonable, but they're nothing special. It seems as though like possibly the ones to watch should have been some of the other players, the young players they have coming through on offense. But if they update, because I do believe Leo got a pick, it just hasn't been reflected here. So maybe if they update, it'll be more clear. But we'll see how the season plays out. There's still a little.
I think this was always going to be difficult as well for an offensive lineman. Like, would you put an offensive lineman as a 1-2?
No. But at the same time, would you put a kicker? No, but we have one. So why not put an offensive lineman?
Fair enough.
And that's just generally. And then we've got the brothers that they had rocking up. And I don't know how they've been playing generally because these guys didn't do stats either. But I know in the Cambridgeshire game.
Yeah, well, one of them got a pick 6.
One of them got a pick 6. And then the other brother got another pick. And I think between them, they got 3 picks in that game. Between them, they got 2 picks.
I love it.
That's so like they were balling that game. So like,
but I still stand by what I said. I think that number 94, he's been good. Like against when they played against the Warriors, so against us, he had a good game. He had a really good game.
Learning names.
Yeah.
No, it's like Julian something.
So start sending out a bunch of messages. Yo, I'm about to talk about you on the next pod.
Yeah, no, but he was nice with it. He was very nice with it. And this one.
Then we go into Rushmoor. Well, his stats suggest that he's been worth it. James Owen, linebacker.
Why did you do him like that?
I know.
No, because I was gonna say I think it should have gone to their running back.
I would have said their running back.
Their running back.
Their running back is the best player.
Their running back, the one with the Zenith helmet.
Okay.
You also have the offensive lineman who pancaked me as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that.
And let you know.
Shout him out.
But no, they're running back. Cheeky little tackle for loss against that guy, but
Yeah, same. I think I have a picture of me flanning him.
Although even if he,
running back is like he's solid.
Oh, fair.
And he is like 90% of the offense at the time that we played them. Obviously, they've made all the new signings.
You don't think this is the name?
No.
Sorry, I forgot his name, but
But he balled.
Yeah. It's like Harvey something or something Harvey.
I would say
he's the offense.
He's their best player.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as we've always said, like this thing's subjective. This is the one they picked, but they could have picked the other guy. And has he lived up to it? Is a question, and I'd argue
2 interceptions at linebacker.
Yeah, and a sack,
forced fumble as well,
and he plays middle linebacker because I know this guy's at GB. He's one of the new blood that's come to GB. Yeah, he's one of the new blood.
I don't recognize anyone these days.
3 games, a sack, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble.
These are strong stats, very strong stats. So like, fair play. Although I haven't seen any of his games because they haven't been filmed. Like stats alone suggest that he's lived up to the billing. And if you care for defensive football, he would be a name that bounces out.
Yeah,
and
shout out James Owen.
I have a force. I have a
cool.
I have a fumble recovery. I have a force fumble.
So
that's why we wanted you as the one to watch. But
well, that's it for today. That's it for this session. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys have enjoyed a little convo, the back and forth, the respect, the disrespect, the enjoyment. I'll let these guys say their goodbyes and then we'll close out and I'll look to catch you next time.
Coventry Phoenix, I don't hate you. You guys are awesome.
Just prove me wrong. That's what it is. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you like the shirt. It's a very nice top you get. I wish we could sell this, but it's for winners only. So yeah, but thank you very much, guys.
Coventry Phoenix Junior. Yeah.
All right, and catch you on the next one where we'll have no doubt great conversation for you guys.
Stop sulking, bro.
I'm gonna comment
Bye.
next time.
It's all right, man. It's all right. Look, now it's time to eat some chicken.
That's it.